Hong practices his diamond fist in the school gym. He just reached the subtlety level 2 days ago. In this world, martial arts mastery is divided into 5 levels: entry, proficiency, subtlety, great accomplishment, and perfection. Reaching subtlety puts him above everyone else in his class. A classmate tells him to take a break, but Hong stays behind to train more. On his way out, Teacher Lee stops him. The 30,000 yuan registration fee for the martial division is due next Monday. Hong asks for a few more days, but the rules are strict. 30,000 yuan is a massive hurdle. When he was 3, his parents died in a ferocious beast disaster. He has lived with his uncle and aunt ever since. Once they saw his martial arts talent, they supported his training completely. In an era overrun by beasts, martial artists are the top earners. He trains hard so they can live a good life, but right now he just feels like a burden. When he gets to his apartment, he stops at the door. Inside, he overhears his uncle and aunt talking about rent. They are short on cash, but his uncle decides to delay the rent to pay Hong's registration fee first. He even plans to stop taking his medication and pick up an extra job, so Hong doesn't have to worry. Hearing this breaks Hong. He walks inside, pretends everything is normal, and lets his aunt send him to rest. Lying in bed, Hong knows he needs tens of thousands of yuan in just a few days. For a martial practitioner, there is only one place to get that kind of cash fast. The next day, he heads to the underground fight club. He signs up for the guard challenge wearing a minotaur mask. The rules are simple: win 4 matches in a row to claim 60,000 yuan, lose, and get nothing. The announcer tells him to hype up the crowd. Han takes the mic and calls everyone below a martial artist a weakling. The crowd gets angry, and the matches begin. His first opponent is a fighter in a dog mask who charges in with lots of momentum. Hong notices his lower stance is shaky. He dodges the attack easily and takes him out with one strike. His next opponent is a larger man. Han tests his diamond fist against the guy's strong fist wand. He tanks a hit, realizes his own punch power is stronger, and exploits the man's wide-open waist to secure his second win. Hong easily gets his third win right after. He just needs one more victory for the money. Up in a VIP balcony, a wealthy man watches the arena. He notices Hong is just a regular disciple, but fights way above average. He thinks Hong is perfect for throwing matches. A man wearing a white fox mask volunteers to go down and recruit him. White Fox steps into the ring as the final challenger. He is a quasi-martial artist, which gives him a huge advantage over regular disciples. Knowing his own level is lower, Hong decides to go all out on his first move. He lands a solid punch, but White Fox effortlessly blocks it. Hong quickly realizes this guy is not a quasi-martial artist. He is a real martial artist, intentionally hiding his true strength. White Fox uses a move called Rushing Thunder Fist and strikes Hong hard. The power difference is terrifying. Hong tries to stay on the defensive and look for a counter, but White Fox continues to batter him. Hong's consciousness starts to fade. He hits the ground. White Fox steps on him and tells him he isn't getting the prize money. Instead, he offers Hong a job. If he agrees to join them and throw fights, they will pay him well. Hong flatly refuses to do their dirty work. Since there is no deal, White Fox moves in to finish him off. As the final strike approaches, Hong thinks about his family. He refuses to let his uncle and aunt's years of sacrifice go to waste. He can't fail here. Suddenly, a blue system screen appears in front of him. It asks what price he will pay for his family and his faith. Hong answers that he will pay everything. A massive surge of red energy erupts from his body, blocking White Fox's attack as Hong breaks through his limits to become a true martial artist. Hong agrees to pay the price. He is instantly pulled into a strange, dark space where a massive glowing entity offers him a chance. A golden system screen appears in front of him. It displays his stats, including his vitality, spirit, and his current martial skills. He clicks on his first mission. The goal is to master his Vajra Fist and upgrade his other moves. A glowing clone of himself appears and starts demonstrating the Vajra Fist perfectly. Hong fights the clone to learn. As they trade blows, his skill progress rapidly increases. In just a short time, his Void Step and Floating Light Palm reach the micro level, and his Vajra Fist upgrades all the way to mastered. He clears the mission and agrees to return to reality. Back in the arena, time resumes just as White Fox throws his Thunder Rush Fist. Thanks to his upgrades, the attack looks incredibly slow to Hong. He effortlessly counters and knocks White Fox out with one solid punch that shatters his mask. The crowd goes silent. Hong reminds the stunned announcer about his prize money and walks away with the 60,000 yuan grand prize. Up in the VIP box, the wealthy boss is shocked to see a mere apprentice use a mastered Vajra Fist. He orders his men in black suits to follow Hong and find out who he really is. On his way home, Hong notices the men trailing him in an alleyway. He just scales the gap between two walls and easily loses them in the dark. An hour later, Hong drops a massive stack of cash on the table in front of his aunt and uncle. They are completely shocked, so he lies and says his dojo master decided to sponsor his training because of his high talent. They trust him and believe the story right away, happy that their money problems are solved. Later on the roof, Hong opens his system again. He sees he earned 67 martial value points for defeating a higher level opponent. The system notes that these points can be used to increase his vitality or skills. He tests it out by adding points to his vitality, pushing it up to 90. This officially puts his physical stats at the level of a quasi-martial artist. He dumps his remaining points into vitality, and the sudden boost heals all the injuries he took during the fight. Feeling a massive surge of new strength, he heads over to his high school's outdoor drill ground to test it out. He steps up to a Tier 1 combat power tester machine and throws a punch using only 70% of his strength. The impact completely shatters the heavy machinery. Realizing he might have to pay for the expensive equipment, Su-hong panics and runs away into the night. An angry old security guard comes outside to check the noise. He sees the destroyed tester and immediately blames two other known troublemakers at the school, promising to discipline them when classes start. At the high school gym, students talk about how a boy named Chen Shan was punished for smashing the combat tester last night. Su-hong listens quietly, knowing he was the one who actually broke it. The principal then introduces Chen Tian, a Tier 3 martial artist, to teach the students a C-rank martial art called Thunder Rush Fist. Su-hong recognizes it as the same move White Fox used at the fight club. Since it costs hundreds of thousands of yuan to learn outside, he decides to seize the opportunity. Chen Tian demonstrates the technique. He explains that at the basic level, a punch makes 1 thunder sound, proficient makes 3 sound, micro level makes 5, mastered makes 7, and perfect makes 9. Chen Tian is currently at the mastered level with 7 sounds. He tells the students to follow along, saying reaching the basic level is good enough for today. Several hours pass. Most of the students can't figure it out. Chen Shan finally manages to make 1 thunder sound, reaching the basic level. The other students call him a genius, but Chen Tian is not impressed, noting that this is just a passing grade. Suddenly, loud thunder sounds erupt from the other side of the gym. Su-hong is practicing the move. The sounds quickly escalate to 8, and then 9. He reaches the perfect level in just half a day. Hearing the 9 sounds gives Chen Tian the sudden inspiration he needs to finally break through to 8 sounds himself. He and the principal rush over to find the expert student, but Su-hong has already run away. Running down the street, Su-hong pulls up his system screen. His vitality is at 91.7, and his Thunder Rush Fist is listed as perfect. He needs a way to earn more martial value points so he can officially break through to become a martial artist. Wondering if regular sparring instead of life and death battles will give him points, he heads to his workplace, the Raging Fender Dojo. Inside the dojo, an arrogant disciple named Li Yan is kicking another student on the ground. A co-worker tells Su-hong that Li Yan and his new instructor look down on commoners and teach poorly. Li Yan tries to start another fight, but Su-hong steps in and grabs his arm to stop him. Before it escalates, the new instructor walks in to start class. The instructor announces he will teach the Raging Sea Spear technique, but will only demonstrate it once. He performs the move quickly, and the students in the back complain that they couldn't see anything. Su-hong watches closely. He picks up a spear and easily replicates the move, creating water-like energy effects around his weapon. The other students are amazed. Li Yan notices this and steps up, offering to give Su-hong some pointers to test his real depth. Su-hong agrees to the spar. Li Yan charges in using the micro-level Raging Sea Spear technique. Su-hong blocks the strike effortlessly and counters using the proficient level of the exact same spear technique, leaving Li Yan completely shocked. Su-hong easily deflects Li Yan's attack using the proficient level of the Raging Sea Spear technique. Li Yan's spear goes flying. Li Yan is stunned that someone who isn't even a martial artist could reach the proficient stage so fast. A system screen pops up for Su-hong, giving him 35 martial points for defeating a higher level opponent. He realizes he can easily earn points just by sparring normally. Li Yan loses his temper. Feeling like his years of hard work are a joke, he recklessly throws a punch. Su-hong effortlessly catches his fist and tells him to stop. The instructor suddenly steps in and slaps Li Yan hard across the face. He scolds him for being a sore loser. Internally, the instructor is shocked that Su-hong mastered the technique from just one demonstration, noting that even capital city geniuses aren't this fast. He immediately apologizes to Su-hong for his disciple's behavior. Su-hong notices how quickly the man changes his tune. Walking home that night, Su-hong checks his system. He had a good day gaining new skills and points. He thinks about the upcoming school exams. The rich kids will all have high-grade alloy weapons, and he feels he needs one too to stay competitive. He checks the price of an alloy spear, but it costs nearly 70,000 yuan. He doesn't have that kind of money. Just then, he spots a public screen announcing that the city lord is paying generous rewards for hunting ferocious beasts in the wilderness. When he gets home, he finds his uncle covered in pain relief patches. Su-hong tells him to stop working part-time since he can bring in money now. His uncle refuses, saying he needs to keep saving because martial arts training will only get more expensive. Seeing this, Su-hong realizes his aunt and uncle are too used to struggling. They won't stop working until they have enough money to feel totally secure. He decides he has to take the beast hunting job. To prepare for the dangerous wilderness, he dumps all 35 of his new martial points into his vitality. His vitality hits 95.2, putting him just one step away from becoming a true martial artist. He spends the next 2 days training intensely at the school gym. By the end of it, he collapses on the floor, completely exhausted. The system shows that all of his skills, including the Thunderclap Fist and Raging Sea Spear technique, have reached the perfection stage. His preparations are complete. On Saturday, Su-hong arrives at the Star City Martial Artist base. The place is packed with fighters. He checks the bounty guide. Unranked beasts pay 300 coins, while Tier 1 beasts pay up to 5,000. He reads the rules and finds out he has to cut off the beast's left ears to prove his kills and get paid. He watches a hunter hand over a massive bag of ears at the settlement counter. Suddenly, the crowd is pushed aside by a group of bodyguards escorting a rich kid named Young Master Ye. Su-hong immediately recognizes him by his aura and clothes. It's White Fox from the underground arena. Hunters nearby gossip about how Young Master Ye recently got his ass kicked. Seeing White Fox makes Su-hong realize that the humans in the wilderness might be just as dangerous as the beasts. He heads to the exit gate. The guard sighs, assuming Su-hong is just another fearless kid throwing his life away by going out alone. Su-hong steps into the forest, determined to return with a full haul. 2 hours pass. Su-hong walks through the trees, but doesn't encounter a single beast. Assuming the outer edges of the forest have already been cleared out by other hunters, he decides to push deeper into the wild. A large white wolf lunges at Su-hong. He easily dodges its claws and strikes back with his thunderclap fist. The punch sends the beast flying into a tree, killing it instantly. Looking at his shaking hand, Su-hong realizes fighting monsters is more exciting than he thought. He defeated a rank 1 early-stage beast in a single move. Just as he wonders how he would fare against a mid-stage beast, a massive raging black bear appears behind him and roars. Su-hong turns and takes it out with one punch. He figures that as long as he doesn't provoke a rank 2 beast, he won't face much danger. He cuts off the bear's left ear to claim the 3,000 yuan bounty. A system screen pops up, telling him he has accumulated enough martial points to break through to a true martial artist. Before he can upgrade, he feels an intense aura nearby and goes to check it out. From a cliff, he spots a rank 1 late-stage black jade giant python. A team of hunters is fighting it, but the massive snake easily overpowers them, slamming one of the men into the rocks. Su-hong walks up to the injured man and borrows his spear. Su-hong steps up to face the giant python. Usually, a rank 1 late-stage beast requires a full team to take down, but since all his martial arts are at the perfection stage, he decides to fight it alone. The python lunges with its massive jaws. Su-hong uses his perfected void step to easily dodge the attack. He follows up with his perfected raging sea spear technique, coating the weapon in water energy, and strikes the snake's side. The python shrieks in anger. Su-hong attacks again, unleashing a wave of water energy that pushes the beast back. He quickly realizes the size difference is too big for a quick fatal blow. He decides to use a hit-and-run strategy to wear it down first. When the python sweeps its massive tail, Su-hong uses his perfected thunderclap fist to blast the ground and dodge out of the way. The fight drives on. Su-hong is exhausted and panting, but the strategy is working. The python is trembling and reaching its limit. Just as Su-hong readies his spear to deliver the final strike, he hears a laugh and senses movement from his blind spot. A large bodyguard drops from the trees and punches Su-hong with a glowing red fist. The surprise attack sends Su-hong flying across the dirt. He coughs in pain and looks up to see the attackers. Young Master Ye, the guy who fought as White Fox at the underground arena, steps forward with his crew. He greets Su-hong and tells him to hand over the black jade giant python. Young Master Ye tells Su-hong he just got lucky finding a dying python. Su-hong quickly notes there are 5 of them. Since they are all martial artists, he knows he can't fight them head on. Before anyone can react, the giant python has fully recovered its stamina and rears up right behind Ye, ready to strike. The giant python lunges forward and devours the guard with a heavy sword. Su-hong jumps out of the way just in time. A system message pops up, notifying him that he indirectly killed an opponent. It gives him 30 martial value points. Moments later, another guard gets crushed by the python's tail, granting Su-hong another 30 points. He checks his total and realizes he finally has enough points to break through to a true martial artist. He just needs a safe spot to upgrade. Spotting a cave nearby, he sprints toward it and dives inside just as the python snaps its jaws against the rock entrance. Safe in the dark, he pulls up his system screen. He rapidly taps the interface, dumping all his accumulated points straight into his vitality. His body heats up as his vitality climbs, finally hitting exactly 100. A bright red aura erupts around him. He officially breaks through and becomes a tier 1 martial artist. With his new strength, Su-hong steps out of the cave to face the python. He doesn't need to play defense anymore. He charges straight at the massive snake. The python strikes, but Su-hong meets it head-on with his perfected Vajra fist. The punch stops the beast in its tracks. He follows up by launching himself into the air and raining down a barrage of perfected Thunder Rush fist strike. The heavy blows slam the python into the ground, completely crushing its head and finishing the fight. The system rewards him with 92 martial value points. Standing on top of the dead python, Su-hong remembers that he needs to cut off the left ear to collect the bounty money. He quickly realizes snakes don't have ears. Deciding it's not worth the hassle, he leaves the carcass and heads back. Walking through the destroyed woods, he comes across Ye's dead body. Su-hong notes that getting crushed by the snake was an easy way out for him. Curious, he searches Ye's pockets to see if he can find the high-level technique Ye used during their fight. He finds a small manual labeled Void Breaking Finger, a B-rank martial skill. Su-hong finds a quiet spot in the woods, builds a campfire, and reads the manual to memorize the cultivation method. He then enters the system space. A glowing blue clone appears and starts demonstrating a Void Breaking Finger. Su-hong watches the clone shoot powerful beams of energy from its fingertips. As he studies the movements, his system progress bar quickly shoots up from 1% all the way to 100%. He masters the skill in no time. Back in reality, he tests the move. Shooting the beam puts a heavy strain on his body and makes him cough, but the destructive power is exactly what he wanted. Su-hong spends the next 3 days hunting deeper in the wilderness to get used to the technique. He tested on a charging bear, easily piercing its head with a single energy beam. The system confirms the void-breaking finger has reached the perfect realm. With his new skill maxed out, he decides it's time to head back to the city. At the Star City martial artist base, Su-hong drops a massive, blood-stained bag on the settlement counter. The clerk tallies up the beast ears. There isn't a single unranked beast in the bag. He counts 72 initial stage, 83 middle stage, and 17 high stage tier 1 beasts. The final payout is 406,000 blue star coins. Hearing the massive number, Su-hong gets nervous. He realizes he killed way too many beasts and might draw unwanted attention to himself. Suddenly, an angry shout echoes across the base courtyard. Supervisor Ye Chi, Ye's uncle, storms out with his men and completely locks down the facility. He orders his guards to block the exits and let no one leave. He announces that his nephew, Ye Feng, and 4 bodyguards were wiped out in the wilderness. The crowd of hunters quietly celebrate the news, whispering among themselves that Ye Feng was a menace who constantly robbed everyone. However, Supervisor Ye Chi announces that a B-rank martial skill manual is missing from his nephew's corpse. Because of this, he orders a mandatory body search for every martial artist in the base before they can leave. In the crowd, Su-hong stays calm. He knows the giant python left the fatal bite and crush marks on the bodies, so the actual murders can't be traced back to him. The missing manual's the only loose end. He watches Ye Chi and his men closely as they begin scanning the crowd, wondering if they are already targeting him. Supervisor Ye Chi approaches Su-hong. He finds it hard to believe a kid could hunt 400,000 coins worth of beasts alone. He accuses Su-hong of scavenging his dead nephew's pack and orders his men to search him. When the guards step up, Su-hong instantly draws his spear, moving so fast they can't even track it. A subordinate warns Ye Chi not to offend a potential genius from the local high school over a hunch. Ye Chi backs down slightly and offers 10,000 coins as compensation for the body search. Su-hong haggles it up to 30,000. Ye Chi agrees. The guards pat him down but find nothing. Su-hong is internally relieved that he destroyed the physical manual after memorizing it. Ye Chi pays him and lets him go, ordering his men to keep searching the rest of the hunters. Su-hong rents a room at an underground hotel to shower and check his system. He has 534 martial points from his recent kills. A rank 1 mid-stage martial artist requires 200 vitality. He has enough points to reach it, but he decides to test his other stats first. He puts some points into his spirit, but doesn't feel any immediate difference. Next, he adds points to his mortal frame physique. His muscles instantly bulge, and he feels a massive increase in raw physical strength. Satisfied, he dumps 200 points into vitality and puts the rest into spirit. A huge surge of red energy erupts from his body. His muscles expand dramatically before slowly shrinking back to their normal size. He's just glad he isn't stuck looking like a giant meathead. An hour later, Su-hong arrives at the Star City Martial Artists Association to take his official assessment. To pass as a rank 1 martial artist, he needs at least 100 vitality and a combat power score over 1,000. He watches another candidate pass the test easily, scoring 105 vitality and over 1,700 combat power using the thunderclap fist. A cocky candidate steps up to Su-hong, acting superior, but Su-hong ignores him and steps into the vitality scanner. The scanner reads his vitality at 123. The cocky kid is shocked, assuming the machine is broken. Next is the combat power test. Su-hong wants to hide his true level, so he decides to use only 50% of his raw physical strength without using any martial arts. He punches the heavy machine. The sheer force of the blow sends the massive tester flying across the room, crashing into a pillar. The screen flashes a score of 3,004. The crowd is stunned. A score of 3,000 is the standard for a rank 1 high-stage martial artist, and Su-hong achieved it with pure physical power alone. Up on a balcony, the wealthy boss from the underground fight club recognizes Su-hong and realizes why he is so strong. In the top office, the association president, Wu Shan, complains about the lack of local geniuses and worries about losing her job. Suddenly, an employee bursts through her door. He frantically reports that a monster just appeared in the assessment hall. A rank 1 early-stage kid who hit over 3,000 combat power and sent a heavy tester flying, using nothing but raw physical strength. At the Martial Arts Association hall, a staff member offers to help Su-hong register. Suddenly, President Ru Lingxian steps in and takes him directly to her office. She tells him his high school principal tried to hide his talent, but she already processed his official ID and monthly allowance. Because of his high score, she offers to teach him a guidance technique personally. She explains that guidance techniques aren't just for absorbing spiritual energy from the environment. They can also be used to add elemental attacks to physical strikes. She demonstrates by summoning flames from her hand, explaining there are 7 elemental attributes: metal, wood, water, fire, earth, thunder, and wind. A person's ability to learn an element depends on their natural compatibility. She hands Su-hong a testing crystal for the fire attribute to see his potential. To her absolute shock, the crystal glows at 100% compatibility. Su-hong mentions he prefers thunder, so she tests that next. It also hits 100%. They quickly test the rest. Su-hong has 100% compatibility with all 7 elements. President Wu is completely stunned, realizing he is a monster that defies common sense. She advises him to focus on just 1 or 2 elements since human energy is limited. Cultivating all 7 would be a waste of time. Su-hong asks for the manuals for all 7 anyway so he can try them and decide later. She agrees. Then, she brings up his upcoming school exam. She explains that humanity is at war with other races, and the government is creating special training camps for top-tier geniuses. If Soo-hong can take first place in his school's monthly exam, she promises to give him a recommendation slot. Remembering how ferocious Beast killed his parents, Soo-hong accepts the deal, determined to get stronger to protect his family. Soo-hong goes home and shows his aunt and uncle his official rank 1 martial artist badge. They immediately cried tears of joy. He tells his uncle he can stop taking extra jobs because rank 1 artists get a 10,000 yuan monthly allowance. Soo-hong promises to support the family from now on. Late that night on the roof, Soo-hong tries out the new fire guidance technique. He throws a punch, but it only produces a tiny puff of steam and no real power. He opens his system screen to check what went wrong. He notices the heavenly flame guidance technique is listed at level 1 with 5% progress. He realizes that while President Wu never mentioned guidance techniques having levels, his system will allow him to continuously upgrade them just like his physical martial arts skills. Soo-hong checks his system to upgrade the heavenly flame guidance technique, but gets a warning that he doesn't have enough martial points. He decides to cultivate the rest of the techniques manually. Several hours later, he reaches level 1 in all the elements. He feels the different energies repelling each other inside his body, realizing why President Wu warned him against learning all 7. He tries to use fire and thunder at the same time, but they clash and cancel each other out. He keeps trying all night. By dawn, he finally forces the 2 elements to fuse into a single attack. He heads to the public martial arts plaza to test the new power on a rank 3 tester. He uses only 30% of his strength just to be safe. A punch with just thunder hits over 2,300. He strikes again, using the fused thunder and fire energy, and the score breaks 3,000. He realizes that just 30% of his power, combined with 2 elements, puts him above a rank 1 high-stage martial artist. He tries to fuse a 3rd element, but it is too difficult and completely drains him. He decides to focus on the school exam to earn more martial points. The next day at Star City High, the principal announces that this monthly exam is special. Because the frontline war is getting worse, the top 3 students will be sent to a genius training camp run by grandmasters. Soo-hong's classmates complain that they have no chance. The principal recently gave private lessons to 2 top students, helping them reach rank 1. Soo-hong ignores the complaints, determined to take first place. The master of the Raging Thunder Dojo shows up with his disciples, including Lian. The dojo master plans to challenge the school's winner to embarrass the principal. However, Lian spots Soo-hong in the crowd and quietly warns his master that Soo-hong is a monster who already beat them. Hearing this, the dojo master immediately drops his arrogant attitude, apologizes to the principal, and admits defeat before quickly backing off. The exam matches begin. Soo-hong is called up to fight quasi-martial artists. His friends tell him to forfeit so he doesn't get hurt. His opponent acts cocky, telling Soo-hong to step down or get beaten down. The guy charges in, but Soo-hong just casually slaps him across the face. The strike instantly knocks the quasi-martial artist out cold, leaving all the teachers and students completely stunned. Soo-hong keeps winning his matches easily and advances to the finals. People wonder how he got so strong and if he is already a Tier 1 martial artist. Up in the stands, the principal and teacher Chen watch him. The principal regrets neglecting his work and missing such a promising talent. He feels like he has seen Soo-hong somewhere before but can't remember where. The semi-final match between Chen Shan and Li Tu begins. They trade blows evenly at first. Chen Shan decides to use his ultimate move. He coats his fist in flames, showing he can project the fire attribute. Li Tu isn't worried. He reveals he knows attribute projection too, and covers his arms in metal energy. He then unleashes a 5-sound thunderclap fist, proving he reached the subtlety stage. Li Tu easily overwhelms Chen Shan. Teacher Chen is impressed that Li Tu hid his true strength and mastered both techniques in just 10 days. He assumes Soo-hong has no chance in the final since he hasn't shown any dieting techniques. The principal disagrees and bets 50,000 yuan that Soo-hong will still take first place. The finals start. Li Tu tells Soo-hong he's lucky to make it this far and should just be happy with second place. Soo-hong calmly says he is taking first. Li Tu charges in with his 5-sound thunderclap fist to finish the fight in one move. Soo-hong doesn't use any skills and doesn't dodge. He meets the attack head-on. Using purely his raw physical strength, he blocks Li Tu's strike and counters with a fast flurry of basic punches. Li Tu is pushed back. He is shocked that Soo-hong neutralized his best move without using any martial arts techniques. The teachers notice Soo-hong's heavy impacts and figure he must have some kind of special physical constitution to be this strong. Seeing he is outmatched in physical strength, Li Tu stops holding back. He fully activates his energy and switches to the lightning attribute. Seeing this, Soo-hong decides to put in a little effort too. He coats his own body in lightning energy. Teacher Chen is stunned to see Soo-hong using the lightning attribute as well. Soo-hong charges forward, and his lightning easily overpowers Li Tu's defense. Li Tu goes all out for a final strike. Soo-hong decides to show him his own ultimate move. He throws a punch and unleashes a perfect 9-sound thunderclap fist. The massive impact blasts Li Tu across the arena, knocking him out completely. The crowd goes crazy. Soo-hong just defeated Li Tu with the perfection stage thunderclap fist, meaning his skill level is even higher than the teacher who originally taught the move. The principal and teacher Chen finally connect the dots. They realize Su-hong as the mysterious nine-sound genius who disappeared from the gym days ago. Watching Su-hong walk away, they know he is going to easily dominate the upcoming training camp. The principal notes that their city is just a small puddle to him now. Su-hong is a hidden dragon bound to reach the imperial capital and the front lines of the war. Su-hong arrives back at his apartment and tells his family he took first place in the monthly exam. His aunt and uncle are thrilled, knowing this means he secured a spot in the genius training camp. Just then, someone knocks on the door. It's a woman named Lin Yan's mother. Her son placed fourth in the exam, just missing the cut for the camp. She rudely offers Su-hong 30,000 yuan to give up his spot. Su-hong and his family look at her, unimpressed. Realizing they are taking the money, she tries to scare them. She claims the training camp is extremely dangerous and that people frequently die there from the brutal training and competition. She insists Su-hong should give up his spot for his own good. This worries his aunt and uncle. They ask him if the camp is really that dangerous and if he can guarantee his safety. Su-hong confidently assures them he can. The woman scoffs, calling him a child making empty promises. Su-hong's uncle steps forward. He tells the woman that he trusts his family over a stranger and firmly kicks her out, slamming the door in her face. The woman curses them outside, predicting Su-hong will just get eliminated. Inside, his uncle admits he is a rough, uneducated man, but he trusts Su-hong's judgment. He says they don't care about rankings, only his safety, and they will fully support whatever decision he makes. Later that night on the roof, Su-hong knows his family is still secretly worried despite their support. To protect them, he resolves to get even stronger. He checks his system. He earned 285 martial points from his exam matches. Not knowing what kind of high-level skills the other camp geniuses will have, he decides his best strategy is to boost his physical combat power. He dumps points into his mortal frame physique until it reaches 64.6%. He's curious about what special physique comes after 100%. Then he notices that his Thunder and Heavenly Flame guidance techniques have hit level 2. He realizes he can level them up just by naturally cultivating them. He decides to test this theory. He summons both lightning and fire energy and starts cultivating. By dawn, the system confirms his strategy. Both guidance techniques have leveled up to level 3, and his vitality naturally increased by 3 points in the process. Later, Su-hong walks down the street. A red sports car pulls up, and President Wu tells him to get in. As they drive to the camp, she gives them some warnings. She explains that some of the geniuses in this batch are absolute monsters. Many are already rank 1 high-stage martial artists, and are close to heading rank 2. Even worse, the skills they have mastered are at least class B. Su-hong realizes rank 2 artists require 200 vitality, meaning his current 126 vitality puts him at a disadvantage. But he isn't worried about the class B skills. Thanks to his system space, he knows he can learn and master any skill much faster than them. President Wu tells him his raw talent is the highest she has ever seen, but he lacks the resources the other rich kids have. She tells him not to be discouraged if he faces setbacks in the camp, assuring him that with his talent, he will eventually surpass everyone. Su-hong thanks her calmly. Seeing his calm reaction despite knowing he is outmatched in stats, and President Wu realizes she doesn't need to worry about his mindset causing any issues. They drive to the Tianlin mountain range. Su-hong's classmates are terrified because the area is filled with dangerous beasts, including rank 7 base kings. Su-hong remembers fighting beasts here recently, but knows the deeper areas are much more deadly. They arrive at the training encampment. Su-hong is excited, but his classmates are already shaking in fear. He notices the other students here are extremely strong, mostly rank 1 mid or high stage. A fleet of luxury cars pulls up, carrying the top-tier geniuses. A beautiful girl named Goddess Xiaoyan steps out, known for her spiritual telekinesis. A flashy guy with white hair, Lin Xinghe, follows, close to hitting rank 2. Then, the city lord's son, Wan Tiantou, steps out. He has 95% fire attribute compatibility and a special physique. Seeing them, Su-hong smiles, ready to see how much of a genius they really are. The camp supervisor announces the rules for the entrance exam. The actual training camp is 30 kilometers away, deep in the mountains. To pass, students must travel there within 8 hours while carrying a special token. The tokens are hidden inside ferocious beasts scattered across the route. Su-hong's classmates panic. 30 kilometers in 8 hours is usually easy, but navigating through deadly beasts makes it nearly impossible. Some students protest, arguing the exam relies too much on luck and is unfair. The supervisor shuts them down. He tells them the battlefield is brutal and that mitigating risks and hunting the weak are essential skills. He bluntly tells anyone afraid of dying to quit now. A cocky student yells that they are a bunch of trash for being scared. Another student takes offense and challenges him. The supervisor ignores them, stating that fighting isn't allowed in the camp, but once they enter the mountain, there are no rules. They are free to steal tokens or just beat each other up. Su-hong realizes the rules encourage infighting. He grins, knowing this is the perfect chance to farm martial points from the other students. The exam begins. The students charge into the woods. Some get into fights immediately. Su-hong runs through the trees alone. He stops when 2 students suddenly jump out and start fighting each other right in front of him. One of them complains that training hard is useless against rich kids with resources. The other calls him a pauper. Su-hong watches, deciding not to let free martial points go to waste. He grabs a large wooden stick from the ground and casually tells them to stop fighting and team up against him instead. Offended, one of the students charges at Su-hong with a glowing punch. Su-hong easily dodges the attack and counters with a swift strike of his wooden stick, sending the student crashing into a tree. The other student is shocked, realizing his peer lost in a single move. Before he can react, Su-hong uses his fast footwork to close the distance. He swings the heavy wooden stick, smashing it directly into the second student's face and knocking him out instantly. Both students are left groaning in pain on the dirt. In the monitoring room, the teachers are shocked to see an ordinary student one-shot his opponent so easily. They officially confirm the knocked-out student is eliminated. Back on the ground, the humiliated kid pretends to accept his defeat, telling Su-hong he is truly strong. But the second Su-hong walks away, the kid grabs a wooden club and tells his friend they're going to get revenge. Su-hong moves on to the forest section of the exam. He quickly runs into a pack of initial first-order giant-esque boars. He unleashes his 9 Echo rushing Thunder Fist and wipes them all out in an instant. System notifications pop up, giving him martial value points, but he notices the rewards are dropping now that his level's higher. He cuts open the boars looking for a training token, but finds nothing. He figures tokens only drop from higher-level beasts. After wandering for half an hour, a high-tier first-order black tiger attacks him. Su-hong fires his void-piercing finger, sending an energy beam that instantly kills the beast. He earns 35 martial points and cuts open its stomach, finally finding a training token. However, he realizes finding one high-tier beast every 30 minutes is way too slow. With only 5 hours left in the assessment, he decides to focus on hunting large quantities of low-level beasts to earn enough points to max out his mortal body progress. He spends the next few hours tearing through the forest, wiping out dozens of boars. He finally runs into a middle-tier bear. To test his limits, he doesn't use his elements or martial skills. He just relies on his raw physical strength. He punches the massive bear head-on, sending it crashing straight into a tree. He pulls up his system screen. He has 254 martial points, leaving him just 100 points away from maxing out his physique. He still has 3 hours left. Suddenly, a massive shockwave ripples through the trees. Su-hong looks up and sees a gigantic bird with glowing golden feathers flying overhead. He recognizes it as the legendary Golden Rock Beast King, and its aura alone is terrifying. Su-hong watches in shock as the Beast King's terrifying aura completely overwhelms the area. Su-hong hides behind a tree, realizing he is nothing but an ant compared to a beast of that level. He spots a ball of light flying up to meet the Beast King. A man named Qin Tianli stops the Beast King and declares he is borrowing its territory. Qin Tianli is a rank 7 Grandmaster. The Beast King refuses to let him use the land, so the Grandmaster attacks it. The force of the battle rips through the forest. The teachers watch the fight, impressed by how easily the Grandmaster beats the tyrannical Beast King into submission. The Grandmaster then orders the Beast King to leave the area, so the student assessment can continue. The Grandmaster returns to the monitoring room to check on the students. They show him footage of the students who were able to withstand the pressure from the Beast King's aura. The top 3 are all from major families: Wan Tiantou, Lin Xinghe, and Xiao Yan. The Grandmaster points out that all 3 are at the rank 1 early stage and recently broke through. However, he refuses to acknowledge them, saying Star City high number. 1 is unworthy of its reputation. Suddenly, one of the monitors catches his eye. He sees a student actively hunting ferocious beasts, right after experiencing the Beast King's pressure. It's Su-hong. The teachers are shocked. The Grandmaster demands Su-hong's file. Reading it, he realizes Su-hong has perfectly cultivated a C-rank martial art, reached 3000 combat power, using purely physical strength, and possesses 100% affinity for all 7 elements. Finding such a monster in a backwater place like Star City completely blows his mind. He notes that Su-hong's blood chi is low, because cultivating 7 guidance techniques simultaneously drains the body. Su-hong arrives just before the deadline, covered in blood and dirt from hunting. The cocky student from earlier season, and assumes they will have plenty of ways to deal with him in the camp. The camp instructor steps up and introduces the facility. He explains there is a gravity training room, a movement skill room, a ferocious beast combat room, and a martial arts pavilion. In the pavilion, students can exchange contribution points for pills, weapons, and martial arts up to A rank. However, to earn these points, students must pass various training subjects with outstanding performance. The instructor dismisses the students for the day. Su-hong heads to his dorm room. He is happy to have a private space so he can level up without anyone seeing. He opens the system interface. He has 354 martial points from his hunt. He dumps the points into his mortal body stat, pushing it all the way up to 100%. The system prompts an evolution. A massive red aura envelops him, as his body begins to undergo a profound transformation. Su-hong's mortal body reaches 100% and evolves into the Overlord body. He checks his system and sees it is ranked as the strongest physique in the world, currently sitting at spirit rank 0%. To test his new raw power, he grips his grade C alloy spear. The metal begins to creak and bend, just from a normal squeeze. Realizing he needs a much stronger grade A weapon, he decides to gather contribution points quickly. He heads out to find a weighted vest to earn extra points during training. At the warehouse, he sees a student named Wan Tiantuo jumping around effortlessly while wearing a 3,000 kilogram vest. The staff notes that Wan can handle this because of his special barbarian god body. Meanwhile, in the monitoring room, Grandmaster Qin and his staff watch the screens. They discuss Su-hong practicing all 7 guidance arts simultaneously. Believing geniuses are too arrogant to take direct advice, Qin decides to teach Su-hong a harsh lesson, so he will give up the extra element. He He orders a night raid, assigning a high-rank first-tier martial artist with 5,000 combat power to ambush and crush Su Hong. Jin figures that if the kid's martial heart breaks that easily, he's just trash anyway. Back in the warehouse, Su Hong looks at the super heavy alloy vests. He skips the 10-ton option, knowing it would slow him down too much, and puts on a 5-ton vest instead. He wears his regular jacket over it to hide the bulk. He walks over to the gravity training rooms. On the main monitor, he sees Wang Tiantuo training at 2 times gravity with his 3-ton vest, making the effective weight 6 tons. Su Hong's high school classmates spot him, but decide not to say hi, feeling too embarrassed by how far behind they are in strength. Su Hong enters a private gravity room. He knows his 5-ton vest at 2 times gravity would equal 10 tons, which he could only handle for 10 minutes. He decides to set the machine to 1.5 times gravity to last longer, bringing his total load to 7.5 tons. Outside, the other trainees look at the monitor and start laughing. Seeing that he set the room to only 1.5 and assuming he isn't wearing a vest, they call him weak. Inside, the immense pressure pushes Su Hong to his limits. He activates his guidance arts. Even though it is much harder to practice under the heavy gravity, his cultivation speed skyrockets. He trains continuously for 2 hours. He checks his system and sees his blood chi has increased from 126 to 130. Except for thunder and fire, all of his other elemental guidance arts have leveled up. Completely exhausted, he struggles to stand up and shuts down the gravity machine. He walks out of the room dripping with sweat. The trainees waiting outside immediately start mocking him, joking that they could sleep in a 1.5 gravity room without breaking a sweat. Complaining about the lack of ventilation, Su Hong pulls off his jacket to cool down. As the jacket drops, the massive 5-ton weighted vest is fully exposed. The trainees mocking him instantly freeze in pure shock. When the trainees realize Su Hong endured over 2 hours under heavy gravity while wearing a 5-ton vest, they are completely stunned. They notice the other trainees are watching a girl named Xiao Yan fight. Su Hong watches her screen and is shocked to see her flirting in midair. She uses telekinesis to instantly kill 3 high-level black tigers with flying light daggers. She then summons a massive golden sword and slays a giant python. The trainees explain she is a spirit reader using an A-rank technique unique to her class. Su Hong realizes the training camp is full of geniuses with powerful A-rank skills. He hopes to learn Wan Tiantu's offensive technique next, but Long is only using his raw physical strength in the beast room right now. Su Hong checks his system. His spirit stat is at 26.5. He needs 100 points to become a spirit reader like Xiao Yan, needing 73.5 more points. Hearing about the A-rank technique, Su Hong realizes his new overlord body lacks a high-level movement skill. He decides to follow Wang to the movement training room. Inside the movement room, Wang sets the machine to level 10 difficult. The room is filled with arrow launchers. Wang activates his wind attribute and performs the Flying Swan Starling Cloud Steps. The technique is flashy, surrounded by flying flower petals, allowing him to effortlessly dodge the arrows. Watching closely, Su Hong memorizes the movements and starts replicating them outside the room. The system immediately registers the new skill and rapidly levels it up as he practices. The other trainees laugh, thinking he is crazy for trying to learn an A-rank technique just by watching. Within minutes, the system confirms Su Hong has mastered the entry level of the Flying Swan Startling Cloud Step. Finding the flower petals a bit embarrassing, he decides not to use it unless necessary. He heads to the Ferocious Beast combat room to earn more martial points and raise his blood quiff. Outside the beast room, the 2 cocky students who mocked Su Hong earlier spot him. They grab a wooden club and plan to jump him inside the room. He set the room to spawn over a dozen high-level rank 1 beasts at the same time. The students watch in shock as Su Hong faces a massive, terrifying horde of monsters completely alone. Inside the beast room, Su Hong waits. When the giant python, centipede, and other massive rank 1 beasts spawn, he charges in. He uses a combination of his perfected movement technique and raw physical strength to tear through the horde. Outside, the 2 cocky students watch the monitor in absolute disbelief. They recognize the A-rank movement technique and can't figure out how a middle school student from an ordinary background could learn such a high-grade skill. Seeing Su Hong slaughter the beasts effortlessly, they realize how wide the gap between them is. They drop their club and quietly leave, abandoning their plan for revenge. Su Hong finishes the fight, completely wiping out the 10 beasts in less than 10 minutes. However, the system only rewards him with about 80 martial points in total. He realizes that as he gets stronger, the points he earns from lower-level beasts decrease significantly. He decides to stop resting and just keeps hunting for the next hour straight. When he finally steps out of the beast room, he is exhausted and covered in blood. However, his efforts paid off. He earned over 400 martial points and a massive total of 700 contribution points. The other trainees gather around the settlement screen, comparing their scores. Most of them struggle just to get 20 or 30 points. The top 3 geniuses hit the 200. But when Su Hong's score of 700 pops up, the crowd goes silent, realizing there is a true monster in the camp standing far above everyone else. Su Hong heads straight to the martial arts pavilion to spend his points. He checks the catalog and sees that A-rank skills cost over 2,000 points, way out of his budget. However, However, he spots spirit-focusing pills. A tier 4 pill costs 500 points. He needs exactly 25.5 more spirit stat points to reach 100 and become a spirit reader. Hoping the pill will give him enough of a boost, he orders one. The clerk is shocked that a new student can afford a 500-point item, but her attitude quickly changes to enthusiastic when he flashes his 700-point balance. He also buys a C-rank dual attribute lightning fire spear for 200 points. Back in his dorm, Soo-hong checks his system. He has 490 martial points, still leaving his spirit stat short of the 100 required. He opens the wooden box, takes out the glowing tier 4 spirit focusing pill, and swallows it, determined to finally become a spirit reader. Soo-hong swallows the tier 4 spirit focusing pill. The effects hit immediately. His mind clears, and his senses sharpen as his nerves relax. He checks his system and sees his mental power went up by 24 points, bringing his base total to 50.5. Combined with his martial value points, his progress reaches 99.5%. He realizes he is just 0.5 points short of the 100 needed to become a spirit reader. Regretting that he didn't kill just one more beast earlier, he decides to get some rest and collect the remaining points tomorrow. Meanwhile, in the camp warehouse, a group of older martial artists gather. They complain about being called in to wait on high school kids. They compare the targets they were assigned to ambush. One instructor is assigned to Wan Tiantou, who has 340 blood qui. Others have targets with over 300 blood qui, or powerful spirit readers. One instructor looks at his paper and complains. He was assigned Soo-hong, a rank 1 early stage with only 123 blood chi. He thinks the camp made a mistake by giving him a piece of trash. Grandmaster Qin walks in and tells him there is no mistake. He explains that Soo-hong's combat power actually rivals a rank 1 high tier, and that his real intelligence file is classified. The instructor, who has nearly 500 blood qui and is about to reach tier 2, still feels like he is being asked to bully a junior. Qin orders him to fight and beat Soo-hong until the kid starts questioning his life choices. Qin adds that he won't blame the instructor if he cripples Soo-hong and will actually reward him for it. The night raid begins. The instructors move out across the camp. In his room, Soo-hong notices someone approaching. Suddenly, a glowing purple sword slices right through his door. Soo-hong dodges the strike, grabs his spear, and faces the attacker. The instructor assumes Soo-hong is just an unlucky early-stage kid. Soo-hong realizes his attacker is a human tier 1 high-tier warrior. Instead of panicking, Soo-hong is excited. He knows defeating this guy will give him the last few martial points he needs to become a spirit reader. Soo-hong immediately counterattacks. He swings his spear, and the instructor is shocked by the intense force. He realizes Soo-hong's physical strength is way too high for his rank. Soo-hong easily overpowers him and knocks him back. Realizing he can't win with just raw strength, the instructor ignites his sword with purple flames. He launches a B-rank fire attribute skill called Blazing Slash. Soo-hong sees the attack coming. He channels raw lightning into his new dual attribute spear and blocks the heavy strike head-on without even using a martial arts skill. The impact shatters the floor beneath them. The instructor is stunned that Soo-hong blocked his B-rank technique using just raw lightning. However, he mocks Soo-hong, saying that since he doesn't know any lightning spear techniques, he still can't win. Soo-hong calmly agrees that he doesn't know any lightning spear techniques, but then he channels fire into the spear alongside the lightning. The instructor stares in absolute terror as he realizes Soo-hong is using attribute fusion, believing the power of thunder and fire combined is just a legend. Soo-hong attacks, and the instructor desperately tries to block with his blazing slash. The fused elements easily tear through the B-rank technique and send the instructor crashing for the dorm wall. Outside, Grandmaster Qin and his staff are watching the raid unfold on monitors. The other 3 instructors assigned to the top geniuses were all defeated, but when King checks on the instructor assigned to Soo-hong, he sees him unconscious in the rubble. He immediately realizes Soo-hong must have used a fusion technique to beat a quasi-tier 2 martial artist. Kin's staff is shocked. They explain that the only genius to ever research dual attribute fusion took 10 years to pull it off, while Soo-hong mastered it in less than a month. Keen notes that attribute fusion is usually avoided because it has a high chance of ruining a warrior's cultivation, permanently trapping them at tier 1. However, since Soo-hong's comprehension is heaven-defined, Keen imagines a future where Soo-hong successfully fuses all 7 elements. The thought of that overwhelming power makes Keen realize he must stop Soo-hong from ruining his potential by getting stuck at a lower tier. A staff member then casually mentions that Soo-hong's physical strength also completely crushed the instructor, revealing his constitution might be even stronger than Wang Qiantuo's barbarian god body. To properly test Soo-hong's true limits, Qin decides to set up a match tomorrow, pitting Soo-hong against the 3 strongest geniuses in the camp. Soo-hong dumps all his martial value points into his spirit stat. His spirit hits 100.2%, and he officially becomes a spirit reader. He feels a strange sensation, like growing a 3rd arm. He tests his new power by floating in midair and lifting his spear with his mind. With this new ability, he decides he needs to learn the A-rank spirit martial art from Yan. The next morning, the instructor gathers the students. He announces a comprehensive test that will measure their blood chi, combat power, spirit, strength, speed, and martial arts mastery. The top 10 students will earn contribution point, but the first place winner will get to choose an additional A-rank martial art or movement technique. Soo-hong is determined to take first place so he can get an A-rank technique to complement his movement skill. From a balcony, Grandmaster Grandmaster Qin watches the crowd. He spots Su Hong. To test him, King decides to make the 3 strongest geniuses go first, placing Su Hong fourth. He hopes the stark contrast will pressure Su Hong and motivate him. Lin Xinghe steps up to the combat monitor first. The assessment requires testing raw physical combat power before using martial arts. Lin punches the machine with just his physical strength and scores 4,013. He then uses his B-rank wind element martial art, the cloud-hidden gale punch, and scores 5,642. Su Hong watches closely, and his system immediately copies the technique. He notes that the 1,600-point boost from the B-rank skill is a bit underwhelming. Yan goes next. Her raw physical combat power score is 3,253. Su Hong figures this is normal since spirit readers usually have weaker physical bodies compared to their mental strength. For the martial arts portion, Yan uses her spirit energy to condense a massive golden hammer and smashes it down on the tester. Su Hong's system instantly acquires her spirit weapon condensation art. Realizing how easy it is to copy skills in the camp, Su Hong smiles, wondering how many more martial arts he can learn from the others today. Wang Tiantuo steps up next. Relying solely on his barbarian god body, he punches the tester and hits 7,534. The crowd is blown away, noting his physical power alone matches a rank 2 middle stage martial artist. He then activates his A-rank offensive martial art, the Bone Ghost Netherfire Fist. Su Hong's system copies it instantly. Before anyone can react, Su Hong's name is called. To single him out, Grandmaster Qin places him right after the top 3 geniuses, hoping the contrast will shame him. Su Hong calmly approaches the machine for the physical combat power test. She throws a pure physical punch and scores 6,551. The crowd goes wild, shocked that a kid at the bottom of the class can hit that hard without any martial arts. For his second test, Su Hong decides to use his newly copied Bone Ghost Netherfire Fist. The system prompts a fast leveling progression, and he masters the entry level of the skill immediately. He infuses his fist with the A-rank fire technique and strikes the machine, hitting a massive 9,013. The score rivals a rank 2 high-stage warrior. The other students are terrified by the power, and even Grandmaster Qin is shocked. Wang Tiantuo is stunned that someone beat him, but assumes Su Hong must be hiding his vitality. However, when Su Hong steps into the vitality scanner, the number reads exactly 137. The crowd realizes Su Hong actually hit a 9,000 combat power score, while still just being an early-stage rank 1 martial artist. With the raw power test finished, Grandmaster Qin announces the start of the combat rankings. He explains the challenge system, where students can designate their opponents, and the last one standing takes the top spot. Instantly, Lin Xinghe points at Su Hong and challenges him to a fight. Lin Xinghe acknowledges Su Hong's combat power as matchless, but notes his vitality is extremely low. Lin plans to use his movement techniques to avoid Su Hong's attacks and wear him down over time. Grandmaster Qin suggests the top 3 geniuses should fight Su Hong all at once instead. The trio thinks this is overkill and worries they might accidentally cripple him, but Su Hong calmly accepts the challenge. Feeling insulted by his confidence, the 3 geniuses agree to jump him. The match begins. Lin Xinghe uses his flying swan startling cloud steps, planning to run circles around Su Hong while the other 2 ambush him. However, Su Hong instantly appears right in front of him. Before Lin can react, Su Hong punches him in the face and knocks him to the ground. Yan, the spirit reader, immediately uses her telekinesis to bind Su Hong in place. Seeing him stuck, Wan Tianto charges in with his Bone Ghost Netherfire Fist. Realizing the mental control is tricky, Su Hong uses pure brute force to forcibly shatter Yan's telekinetic grip. He then meets Wang's A-rank fire attack head-on, blocking it with just his physical strength. The impact stuns everyone. Not wasting a second, Su Hong grabs Wang and throws him directly at Yan, knocking both of them out of bounds. The fight ends in an instant. The crowd is terrified by how easily he dismantled the top 3 geniuses. Grandmaster Qin asks if anyone else wants to challenge Su Hong. Naturally, everyone surrenders. Qin declares Su Hong the undisputed number 1 and takes him to the martial arts pavilion to pick his A-rank reward. On the way, Qin asks Su Hong why he hides his strength. Su Hong explains that without any powerful family backing, showing off too early makes him an easy target. Qin likes his smart approach. He admits he arranged the trial specifically to give Su Hong a reason to take more resources. He tells Su Hong he no longer needs to hide because Qin will personally back him up from now on. At the pavilion, Qin tells Su Hong to look over the manual list and asks what techniques he already knows. Su Hong casually lists off several A-rank and B-rank skills, including the Flying Swan Startling Cloud Steps and Cloud Hidden Gale Punch. Qin realizes those 2 skills aren't even in the camp's pavilion. He asks if Su Hong learned them just by watching Lin Xinghe use them once. Su Hong says yes. Hearing this, Qin is completely stunned, realizing once again that Su Hong is an absolute monster. Qin decides Su Hong needs a control-type technique. He recommends the A-rank fire attribute, Flame Cage. It allows the user to trap an enemy using fire energy. Qin demonstrates the move, showing how he can trap someone and follow up with a deadly strike. Qin admits it's a very difficult skill to master, adding that even he couldn't use it while attacking until he reached rank 3. Before Qin can even finish explaining, Su Hong's system registers the technique. Su Hong politely declines it, pretending he gave up because it sounds too hard, but he secretly just copied it for free. Qin then suggests an A-rank earth attribute attribute defensive technique called Fake Earthwormer. He notes it will pair perfectly with Suhong's physical strength. Suhong agrees to take it. Kin then asks what special physique Suhong has. Suhong makes up a name on the spot, calling it the Overlord body. He brags that it's the strongest physique in the world, hoping Kin will be impressed enough to give him more techniques. Kin has never heard of it, but considering Suhong's insane physical power, he believes it must be a rare, unrecorded constitution. Suddenly, Kin gets a phone call. His staff reports that Suhong was secretly wearing a weighted vest during his fight against the three geniuses. Kin turns to Suhong and asks why. Suhong explains he just wanted the extra contribution points. Realizing Suhong fought a rank 2 martial artist while wearing extra weight, Kin tells him to take off the vest immediately. Suhong takes it off and hands it to the pavilion manager. The heavy vest smashes into the floor, shocking the manager when she realizes it weighs 5 tons. Kin decides Suhong needs a powerful A-rank offensive spear technique. He remembers that Grandmaster Zhang, who runs the training camp in Yang City, uses a legendary thunder spear technique. Kin tells Suhong they are going to Yang City tomorrow to challenge Zhang's top student, planning to trick Zhang into betting his technique on the match. That night, Suhong practices the new techniques in his dorm. By morning, he manages to get all 3 A-rank skills up to the entry level. Meanwhile, in Yang City, Grandmaster Zhang is training his top student, Lin Chunfun. Lin has a rare wood spirit body and recently broke through to rank 2. Zhang is forcing him to learn an A-rank wood control technique called Wood Prison. Lin fails repeatedly, complaining the technique is too hard and begging for a month to learn it. Zhang scolds him, mentioning that Kin found a prodigy who learns techniques in just a few days. Zhang gets a call from Kin setting up the match. He tells Lin to hold back during the fight so Kin doesn't lose face. Lin confidently agrees to act like it's a close fight. The next afternoon, Kin and Suhong arrive at the Yang City camp. Zhang greets them and asks to see Kin's new prodigy. When Qin introduces Suhong as a rank 1 early stage warrior, Zhang is completely confused. He wonders how he is supposed to tell his rank 2 student to fake a close fight against a rank 1 early stage kid. Qin ignores his confusion and tells him to start the match so they can head back in time for dinner. Grandmaster Qin officially introduces Suhong to the students of the Yang City training camp. He tells them Suhong is a rank 1 early stage from Star City. One student laughs, thinking Suhong must be incredibly weak. However, when Qing announces that Suhong is here to challenge Lin Chunfeng, their rank 2 top student, the crowd is stunned. Lin is confused and annoyed, wondering how he is supposed to fake a back-and-forth fight against a rank 1 without accidentally killing him. The match begins. Lin decides to act out a struggle. He charges at Suhong but intentionally leaves an opening. Suhong casually steps aside. Realizing he needs to look like he is trying harder, Lin uses the A-rank wind attribute movement technique, Flying Swan Startling Cloud Steps, to close the distance. Suhong is completely unfazed. He immediately mirrors the exact same movement technique and easily dodges Lin's attack. Lin is shocked that Suhong also knows the wind technique. He decides to use his control-type martial art, the Wood Prison, to trap Suhong. Thick vines shoot out from the ground and wrap around Suhong's leg. Suhong decides to test his raw physical strength. With one massive pull, he uses pure brute force to shatter the Wood Prison instantly. Lin is terrified. Suhong's physical strength is ridiculous. Before Lin can react, Suhong rushes him with incredible speed. Panicking, Lin abandons his plan to fake a struggle and uses his A-rank defensive technique, Wood Evasion, to summon a thick wooden shield. Suhong punches the shield with raw physical strength, completely shattering it and knocking Lin back. Lin realizes Suhong's power is equal to a ferocious beast, and that he actually has to fight seriously. Lin draws his sword, and uses an A-rank fire attribute martial art called Blazing Slash. The strike is powerful, but Suhong just smiles. He raises his hand and summons a cage made of white-hot flames, right on top of Lin. The flame cage traps Lin completely. Watching from the sidelines, Grandmaster Zhang is shocked. He realizes Suhong just used a fire attribute control technique, meaning he possesses both wind and fire attributes. Zhang is even more stunned when he notices Suhong is maintaining the flame cage while simultaneously charging up a second attack in his other hand. This requires incredible control that even rank 3 martial artists struggle with. Suhong gathers a massive amount of wind energy in his fist and launches the Cloud-Head and Gale Punch directly at the trapped Lin. Lin uses Wood Evasion again to block, but the combined force of the flame cage and the gale punch shatters his defense instantly. He coughs up blood and is sent flying backward, completely defeated. Lin Chunfeng lies unconscious on the floor, completely defeated. Zhang students are shocked, realizing Suhong hit with the power of a rank 2 martial artist despite his low level. They think his physical strength is greater than a ferocious beast. Meanwhile, Grandmaster Zhang is absolutely stunned. He asks Qin what kind of monster he brought. Zhang recognizes that Suhong used Attribute Fusion, a legendary feat that the original creator took 10 years to master. Qin smugly acts like it's no big deal, telling Zhang that Suhong only took a month to fuse 2 attributes. Zhang is even more blown away when Qin accidentally lets slip that Suhong has 100% compatibility with all 7 elements and is practicing all 7 guidance techniques simultaneously. Zhang accepts his defeat and takes Su-hong to a private training room to fulfill the bet. He agrees to teach Su-hong his A-rank spear technique, the 9 sky-breaking spears, and his ultimate skill, palm lightning. Jang demonstrates the spear technique. It consists of 3 forms. He performs the first form, river flip, creating a massive wave of lightning. The second form, sea overturn, creates an even larger storm. He finishes with the third form, skybreaker, bringing down a massive bolt of lightning from above. Su-hong watches in awe, realizing Jang is holding back significantly so he doesn't destroy the room. Even holding back, the aftershocks create a terrifying tornado of lightning energy. Su-hong feels like an ant standing next to this level of power, but it makes him excited for the future. Ji-hong hands Su-hong the manual for the 9 sky-breaking spears. He tells him to study the movements and ask questions if he gets stuck. Ji-hong promises to teach him the palm lightning technique once he masters the first form of the spear. He mentions that while the spear technique is strong, palm lightning is far superior. Hearing this, Su-hong is eager to learn quickly. Jang leaves the room to meet with Qin, telling Su-hong to practice on his own for a bit. 1 hour later, Grandmaster John returns to check on Su-hong's progress. He expects the boy will need a month or 2 to learn the spear technique. However, Su-hong tells him the moves are too difficult, and he can only manage the basics for now. He immediately asks John to teach him the palm lightning technique next. John is completely stunned by the kid's monstrous talent. Later that evening, old Qin finds John spacing out and asks if he taught Su-hong the palm lightning yet. John simply opens the door to the training room, revealing Su-hong already practicing the high difficulty moves. Suddenly, Su-hong unleashes a massive burst of electricity, successfully executing palm lightning. Jong is in disbelief, remembering that it took him 3 months to master the technique, and he was considered a genius back then. Qin praises Su-hong's limitless potential. They invite Jang out for drinks, and tell Su-hong they are leaving the training camp tomorrow. That night in his dorm room, Su-hong opens his system panel. He sees that defeating Wang Tiantuo and Lin Chonfeng earned him 230 martial values. He uses the points to upgrade his blood chi, watching the number increase, but he realizes it is not enough. Since no one in the camp dares to duel him anymore, he figures he will have to hunt vicious beasts later to farm more points. Meanwhile, Jang and Qin are drinking when an assistant rushes in to announce that the night raid activity is starting. Jang happily gives the order to begin and tells them to train the students hard. Suddenly, Qin sobers up and realizes Su-hong is sleeping in the dorms. He panics and tells Jang to postpone the raid immediately. Unfortunately, the order was already sent, and the raid has begun. Outside the dorms, a large group of men in camo gear prepares to attack. 2 leaders stand in front, Bu Jingfeng and his rank 2 older brother, Bu Jinglong. Jinglong explains that Grandmaster Jang specifically asked him to participate to deal with the student who has the wood spirit body. Jingfeng, still bitter about a previous defeat, swears he will take down Su-hong if he runs into him again. The men put on black ski masks and charge the building. Inside, complete chaos breaks out. Masked raiders kick down doors and attack sleeping students. Su-hong hears the commotion and steps out of his room. A raider immediately lunges at him, but Su-hong effortlessly knocks him out with a single punch. Looking at the unconscious man's mask, Su-hong gets an idea. If he puts on dark clothes and a mask, he can pretend to be a raider and openly beat people up to earn martial values. Putting his plan into action, Su-hong walks into a room where a raider is cornering a terrified student. Pretending to be an ally, Su-hong approaches the raider and instantly knocks him out with a punch to the face. Realizing this is the perfect chance to farm points, Su-hong goes on a rampage. He runs through the halls with his fist glowing, beating up every masked raider he sees. The real raiders are completely confused, screaming about a traitor in their ranks, as Su-hong effortlessly takes them down. He clears the entire first floor and moves to the second. He unleashes a massive golden energy wave down the hallway, knocking out several raiders at once. System messages flood his vision, showing constant gains of martial value point. Thrilled by the huge payout, he heads up to the 3rd floor. There, a group of raiders is standing around watching the green-haired Lin Chunfeng fight the rank 2 leader Bu Jinglong. Su-hong walks right up behind the spectators and charges his fist with golden energy. He blasts the raiders away with a single strike, stating he has already seen the wood spirit body in action. Both Lin Chunfeng and Bu Jinglong stop their fight and stare at the masked Su-hong in shock. Covered in a glowing golden aura, Su-hong looks at both of them and casually tells them to come at him together. Bu Jinglong tells Lin Chunfeng to rest, so he can deal with Su-hong myself. He charges forward, stating that Su-hong is breaking the rules of the night raid and needs to be taught a lesson. Su-hong simply activates his Vajra fist and punches Bu Jinglong. The impact creates a huge burst of golden and red energy, sending the rank 2 leader flying back. Realizing Su-hong's actual strength, Bu Jinglong tells Lin to team up with him. Lin uses a wood prison technique, summoning glowing green vines from the ground to trap Su-hong. Su-hong easily bursts out of the vines. When Bu Jinglong attacks again, Su-hong activates his earth attribute battle armor. A spectral purple armor appears around him and completely blocks the rank 2 strike. Su-hong retaliates by punching Bu Jinglong away, then jumps into the air and delivers a flaming axe kick to Lin Chunfeng, knocking him out cold into the floor. Su-hong checks his system. He receives 140 martial values for defeating the leader, and 75 for Lin. He is thrilled to see he earned over 2,400 martial values in total that night. The next morning, the bruised and battered raiders are recovering outside the dorms with ice packs. Old Qin yells at Grandmaster John for the mess his student created, but John laughs it off and runs away. Qin then asks Su-hong if he still needs metal, wood, and water attribute martial arts. When Su-hong says yes, Qin smiles and says they are going to visit some old friends. Over the next 10 days, they visit 3 different training camps, using the exact same betting routine. Chin wins 3 new A-rank cultivation methods for Suhong. Back in his dorm, Suhong practices the entry levels of his new metal, wood, and water techniques. With almost 3,000 martial values saved up, he decides to increase his blood chi. He repeatedly upgrades his stats, and his body bulks up as it absorbs the massive amount of energy. He stops at 450 blood chi, noting he only needs 50 more points to reach rank 2. He spends his last 100 points on his overlord body physique, but the stat only increases by 0.1%. Realizing the physique is too expensive to level up right now, he decides to prioritize reaching rank 2 and plans to farm more points. Before he leaves, Chin contacts him again, asking if he still needs a healing martial art. Suhong realizes Chin has set up yet another bet. They travel to the Hangzhou training camp. The local grandmaster, Wang Qingshan, announces a field training exercise where students must survive in the myriad monster mountains for 7 days without supplies. They earn contribution point by killing beasts. As the students head into the mountains, Long confirms his bet with Chin. If Suhong wins, Long will teach him an A-rank healing art. If Suhong loses, Chin must teach an A-rank art to every student who beats him. Chin mentions that members of the myriad race's demon cult are currently in the mountains, but Long dismisses them as low-level threats. Chin just hopes Suhong can come back alive. In the mountains, Suhong tests his new techniques. He uses his lightning spear, metal attacks, wood vines, and a water dragon to kill various beasts. After gathering over 500 martial values, he finds a quiet cave. He sits down and spends his points on blood chi, intending to finally break through to rank 2. Outside in the dark, a red-haired man walks through the woods. He complains about having to patrol the area, mentioning that their cult's sacrifice site is hidden nearby. He then notices the dead beast Suhong left outside the cave. Realizing someone is inside, he calls out, demanding the person surrender for an easy death, or else he will skin and eat them alive. The red-haired man assumes the person hiding inside must be rank 2 or 3 since they killed the Crimson Flame Black Tiger. He warns them not to resist. Inside the cave, Suhong hears the arrogant tone and worries the guy might be a rank 4 martial artist. Deciding he needs to escape, Suhong unleashes his water dragon technique to blast his way out of the cave. The red-haired man smirks and slices the water dragon in half with a flaming sword strike. Seeing the attack, Suhong realizes the man is only at the early stage of rank 3. Realizing he overestimated his opponent, Suhong stops running and turns to face him. He notices a specific tattoo on the man's neck and immediately identifies him as a member of the myriad race's demon cult. He knows these cultists view their human heritage as a disgrace and regularly capture humans to sacrifice for rewards from other races. Disgusted, Suhong calls in human scum and readies his weapon. The cultist attacks with an A-rank fire move called Sky Sun Slash. Suhong meets the attack head-on with his lightning spear's river flip technique. The two attacks clash, and the cultist is shocked to see his fire slash completely scattered. He cannot understand how a rank 2 martial artist is pushing him back, while simultaneously using water and lightning attributes. Realizing he is outmatched, the cultist tries to retreat, but Suhong uses his wood attribute to summon vines that bind the man's legs. Suhong then unleashes a massive lightning blast, seemingly obliterating the cultist. However, the cultist's body turns into glowing molten rock and reassembles itself. He transforms into a winged stone monster, boasting about the divine might of the celestial race. He yells that once their sacrifice ritual is complete, he will become a true celestial. He throws a giant rock fist at Suhong, who easily blocks it with his spear. Unimpressed by the transformation, Suhong traps the monster in a flame cage. He then charges his spear with intense golden lightning and thrusts it forward, piercing straight through the rock demon's chest and shattering him to pieces. A system message appears, showing Suhong earned 212 martial values for killing the mutated celestial. He notes that hunting cultists pays out much higher points than hunting beasts. Remembering the cultist's words about a sacrifice, he suspects they have captured humans and immediately contacts the Grandmasters to report it. Back at the Hangzhou train camp, Grandmaster Wang reads the report. He tells Old Qin that the cult is just sacrificing their own members this time, so there is no need to launch a rescue mission. He also scoffs at the idea of Suhong killing an early rank 3 cultist, thinking the kid is just bragging. Old Qin simply sips his tea, fully trusting his student's strength. 3 days later in the mountains, Suhong stands next to a massive dead snake beast. He checks his system panel and sees he has earned a total of 832 martial values. Suddenly, his perception alerts him to a presence. He looks up into the trees and spots a blue-haired woman holding a whip. She praises him for noticing her, flirting briefly before stating that since he is here, he has to die. She swings her weapon, launching a barrage of sharp ice spikes at him. Instead of panicking, Suhong just smiles. He looks up at the cultist and thinks to himself that more martial values have just delivered themselves directly to him. Suhong launches his water dragon technique, crashing the massive water construct directly into the blue-haired woman. Before she can recover, Suhong grabs her by the neck, deciding she is the perfect person to ask about the other cult outposts. He throws her to the ground and strikes her with his nether bone ghost fist. Pinning her down with his spear, he demands the location of the outpost. Terrified and spitting blood, she points him 10 kilometers north and begs for her life. She reveals there are 3 rank 3 and 3 3 rank 2 martial artists left at the camp. Su-hong does the math and realizes that taking them all out will give him enough martial values to finally reach rank 2. The woman suddenly morphs into a winged creature, claiming her strength is doubled and that she will kill him for underestimating her. Su-hong does not even let her finish. He instantly blasts her with a massive pillar of golden energy, stating the cultist committed too many sins and he will not let a single one of them live. The system immediately awards him 208 martial value, and he smiles at the prophet. 10 kilometers north at the sacrificial outpost, 3 human students are surrounded by a large group of cultists. The students realize they were tricked, as the enemies are all rank 3 instead of rank 2. The cult's blood commander orders his men to kill the human geniuses and use them for the sacrifice. From a distance, Grandmaster Wang and Old Chin are watching the scene unfold. Wang says he will intervene to save the students if things get too dangerous, but Chin tells him not to worry. Qin points out that his monster of a student is about to save them. Su-hong drops down from the sky and throws his spear, impaling an attacking cultist to a tree right before he can strike a student. Su-hong then jumps into the middle of the crowd, repeatedly blasting the cultist with palm lightning. After clearing the immediate area, he casually turns to the shocked students and asks if they are okay. They recognize him as Su-hong from Star City. Watching from afar, Wang is amazed by Su-hong's rapid growth and the fact that he can use palm lightning so easily. Su-hong tells the students to fall back and leave the rest to him. He looks at the remaining cultists with pure excitement, seeing them as a giant gold mine since each one is worth at least 200 martial values. A bulky cultist tries to crush him, but Su-hong blocks the attack and effortlessly punches the man into the ground. He calls for the next opponent and continues electrocuting the cultist with golden lightning. Terrified, the remaining enemies retreat toward the temple steps. Blowing the top of the temple, the blood commander completes the ritual using the bodies of the fallen cultists. The prosecutor passes by fugitive. Su-hong watches as all the spilled blood floats into the air and gathers into a massive portal. A figure with large white wings emerges from the blood. The being declares himself a noble of the celestial race and demands the humans kneel before him. Looking up at the winged being, Su-hong just grips his spear and smiles. He thinks to himself that if morphed cultists gave him a lot of points, he wonders exactly how many martial values he will get for killing a real celestial. The celestial calls Su-hong an ant for looking up at him and instantly attacks with blinding speed. Su-hong blocks the golden strike with his spear, surprised by how fast it is. The celestial notes that Su-hong is surprisingly strong for a human youth. He realizes that possessing this human body will not be as easy as just stepping on ants. He complains that his possessed vessel has not even reached the 4th tier and is already breaking down, but he claims his peak 3rd tier strength is more than enough to eliminate a future threat like Su-hong. Hearing this, Su-hong realizes he's only fighting a possessed body, not a real celestial. He coats his fist in lightning, declares the fight is not over yet, and charges forward. The two clash directly. From a distance, Grandmaster Wang and Old Chin watch in shock as Su-hong physically suppresses the celestial, despite being an entire realm lower. Su-hong lands a heavy flaming punch right into the celestial's chest, damaging his armor and forcing him back. The celestial is furious and confused, wondering what kind of physique Su-hong has to overpower him in pure physical strength, especially since he never lost a physical clash against other alien races. Su-hong just asks if he is tired yet. Thanks to his overlord body, Su-hong feels completely refreshed. He tells the celestial that he usually has to hold back to avoid accidentally killing people, and wishes the celestial's true body was here for a more satisfying fight. Insulted by the human, the celestial summons his innate ability, the divine treasury. Dozens of glowing portals appear in the air, aiming golden spears at Su-hong. A system notification pops up, telling Su-hong he cannot learn this skill because it requires a pure celestial bloodline. Grandmaster Wang panics, thinking Su-hong is about to be killed, but Old Kin just tells him to calm down. Old Kin casually reveals that Su-hong has a 100% compatibility with all 7 attributes, and has not even used his ultimate move yet. The celestial fires the barrage of golden spears. Su-hong smiles, noting that the celestial is the first opponent to force him to go all out. He unleashes the 3rd stance of his spear technique, heaven breaking. He combines fire and lightning into a massive upward strike. The attack completely overpowers the golden spears and vaporizes the possessed celestial. Su-hong checks his system and sees he earned 843 martial values. He laughs, incredibly happy with the huge payout. Grandmaster Wang rushes over, completely amazed that a student defeated a celestial. Su-hong is a bit confused by the Grandmaster's excitement. He thinks internally that if a regular celestial forced him to use his trump card, the real geniuses of their race must be absolutely terrifying. 4 days later, the training camp ends. The leaderboard shows Su-hong in 1st place with over 17,000 points, completely crushing everyone else. Some students doubt his score since he is not even a 2nd-tier martial artist yet, but the students he saved quickly defend him. They confirm that Su-hong was taking out 3rd-tier cultists with single strikes. Meanwhile, Grandmaster Wang complains to Old Chin that Su-hong is a little monster who learned his A-rank healing skill in less than half a day. Back in his room, Su-hong uses his new healing art to completely erase all his old battle scars. He opens his system panel and sees he has 4,800 martial values saved up from the mountain training. He decides it is time to upgrade his mental strength to 500 points, so he can become a 2nd-tier telekinetic, and plans to boost his blood chi as well. Far away on the celestial race planet, inside a massive temple, a giant shadowy figure questions the celestial who possessed the cultist. The giant demands to know how he lost to a human who is an entire realm lower, even after using his divine abilities. The defeated celestial Tian Ming simply admits that the human youth is a monstrous genius. Hearing this, the giant calls forward another celestial named Tian Shine. Back at the Star City training camp, Lang Tiantu and his two friends are fighting a giant bear beast. They spent the entire month grinding in the gravity room and using all their contribution points on pills to boost their strength. Their hard work paid off, and all three of them broke through to the second tier. Lin Xinghe even bulked up into a muscular hunk. They are feeling confident and can't wait for Su Hong to return so they can challenge him again. Old Keen arrives back at the camp alone. When another instructor asks where Su Hong is, Keen explains that the kid wanted a few more days of training in the forest and will return before the camp ends. 2 days later, Su Hong is meditating on a cliff in the forest. His system constantly adds points to his mental power. A giant snake beast tries to ambush him from behind, but Su Hong doesn't even move. He simply raises his hand and uses telekinesis to freeze the massive beast in midair. He then uses the weapon condensation art to form a giant golden sword and crushes the snake into the ground. Pleased with the result, he notes that the power of a second-tier spirit reader is terrifying. With his mental power significantly increased, he decides to try a triple attribute fusion. He gathers lightning, fire, and gold energy in his hands. The moment the three elements touch, they become incredibly violent. Su Hong loses control, and the energy creates a massive explosion that destroys the cliffside. He survives the blast and realizes that if he perfects this fusion, it can injure a fourth-tier martial artist. On the last day of the training camp, Su Hong finally walks through the front gates. The other students immediately run to notify Wang Qiantou and his group. The three friends confront Su Hong, boldly stating they will defeat him this time, because they are all second-tier martial artists now. Su Hong just smiles and powers up a fiery aura, revealing that he is also a second-tier martial artist. They are shocked, but the girl steps forward. She uses the weapon condensation art to form a glowing golden sword, stating that she is a second-tier spirit reader, so his physical rank doesn't scare her. Su Hong apologizes and reveals he is also a spirit reader. He summons a telekinetic weapon so massive that it instantly shatters her sword and blows the group back. Realizing Su Hong is a second-tier martial artist, a second-tier spirit reader, and has a top-tier physique, the three friends lose all hope. Su Hong asks if they want to fight him all at once so he can earn some martial values, but they instantly surrender and run away screaming. Watching from afar, Old Kin is left completely speechless. The other Grandmaster just laughs, calling Su Hong a once-in-a-millennium monster. Suddenly, a giant flaming bird appears in the sky above the camp. It yells that the 30 days are up and orders the humans to get out. Old Chin recognizes the bird as a giant deuce he dealt with before. Annoyed, Chin flies into the air wrapped in a massive purple aura. He tells the bird that they will leave when they want to and no one can kick them out. Kin easily overpowers the giant bird, stomping it right out of the sky. The students watch in awe, noting that the heat and power of a 7th-tier Grandmaster look like a battle of gods. The bird begs Chin to stop hitting it, claiming it brought backup today. Old Chin tells it to bring them out so he can beat them up too. Suddenly, the sky turns dark, and a massive shadowy figure emerges from the clouds. A giant purple eye opens and stares down at the camp. The instructors panic, recognizing the entity as the Lord of Myriad Monsters, one of the strongest existences in the mountains. Su Hong grips his spear tightly and looks up at the massive shadow. He notes that the weakest entities at that level are 9th tier, and the Monster Lord is in the King's Ceiling realm, which is even higher. Su Hong stares up at the massive glowing eye of the Lord of Myriad Monsters. He realizes that as a second-tier martial artist, he is completely insignificant compared to a King's Ceiling realm entity. He thinks about how he wouldn't be able to protect anyone if a monster like that attacks Star City. He resolves to keep getting stronger until he reaches the King's Sailing Realm himself. Old Keem stands calmly as the massive shadow and the giant bird retreat. The Monster Lord has an agreement with the human race and will not casually attack juniors. The training camp ends normally and the students take buses back to Star City. Wang Qiantu and his friends are now friendly with Su Hong, joking that his name will soon be famous across the city. They arrive at the City Lord's mansion for a welcome banquet. Su Hong isn't interested in the party and just wants to go home to see his aunt and uncle. Inside the luxurious banquet hall, Su Hong's aunt and uncle are sitting at a table. They feel embarrassed and out of place in their simple clothes, and some wealthy guests quietly mock them for looking like migrant workers. Suddenly, the principal of number 1 high school and the president of the Martial Artists Association rush over. They enthusiastically shake the uncle's hand, praising Su Hong as the most promising genius they have ever seen. The wealthy guests are left completely shocked. Nearby, the fathers of Long Qiantuo, Lin Xinghe, and Xiao Yan are arguing. They brag about their kids reaching the 2nd tier and debate who is the strongest. When the arrival of the students is announced, the city lord and the fathers head outside to greet them. However, the fathers are confused to see their kids looking depressed and bruised. The kids admit they were completely crushed in a fight. The fathers ask how 3 2nd-tier teams could lose together. The kids explain that Su Hong beat them because his physical strength, speed, and spirit, telekinesis were all far superior. Su Hong gets off the bus, and the crowd stares at him. He spots his aunt and uncle and smiles. His aunt runs toward him but trips on the red carpet. Before she can hit the ground, Su Hong uses his telekinesis to catch her, gently floating her safely back to her feet. Seeing this, the city lord, the principal, and the association president are stunned. They realize Su Hong is not just a martial artist, but also a 2nd-tier spirit reader. The principal and president start bickering, realizing they both missed this detail, and loudly boast about how they will support him. Meanwhile, The other wealthy guests start making frantic phone calls, trying to arrange marriages with Su Hong or send his family expensive gifts. The city lord steps forward with a gold tray. He presents Su Hong with a villa and 3 million in cash as his prize for taking first place in the training camp. The city lord shakes Su Hong's hand and openly tells him to just ask if he ever needs anything in the future. Su Hong realizes the city lord is openly trying to recruit him. He knows that refusing the offer right now will offend the city lord, but accepting it means he will be obligated to fulfill his request later on. Su Hong decides that since the city lord's faction is the most powerful in Star City, he should not offend him. Besides, with the city lord protecting his family, he can go out and train freely. He also has Grandmaster Qin as his backer, so he knows the city lord cannot force him to do anything excessive in the future. Su Hong accepts the offer and shakes the city lord's hand. When asked what he needs, Su Hong immediately requests medical treatment for his aunt's rare disease. The city lord gladly agrees to use the best medical resources available. The city lord then asks if he wants anything else, and Su Hong asks for a weapon. The city lord leads him into the mansion's massive armory and tells him to pick any A-grade weapon he wants. Su Hong asks if there are any multi-attribute alloy weapons. To explain why, he casually summons 7 different elemental orbs in his hands. The city lord is completely shocked. He cannot believe the second-tier martial artist and spirit reader can cultivate 7 attributes simultaneously and still level up so fast. Su Hong purposely shows off his talent, knowing that the more monstrous he appears, the more the city lord will value and support him. The city lord admits that multi-attribute weapons are extremely rare. The best match he has is a 3-attribute B-grade spearhead. Su Hong accepts it, deciding to attach it to his own Thunderfire spear shaft. Before Su Hong leaves, the city lord warns him about strange anomalies happening all over the world. Mysterious shards are appearing, creating natural treasures and granting fierce beasts multiple attributes. He specifically mentions Stargazing Lake just outside Star City, where a multi-attribute beast was recently spotted. The city lord advises Su Hong to stay away, warning him that the area is currently too dangerous for him. A few hours later, the city lord's private car drops Su Hong and his aunt and uncle off at their apartment building. The neighbors, including their greedy landlady, are stunned to see them step out of the prestigious vehicle. The landlady, who had just been complaining about the Su family and threatening to raise their rent, tries to act friendly. Su Hong's aunt casually tells the landlady that they won't be renting anymore because the city lord gave them a villa. She asks for a refund on their extra rent, but the uncle stops her, saying they are rich now and can just leave the money as a gift. They head upstairs, happily discussing their move to the new house. That night, Su Hong goes up to the roof for one last training session. He pulls up his system panel and uses his remaining 1,900 martial values to upgrade his blood chi. His body pulses with intense red energy as his blood chi surpasses 700 points, allowing him to break through to the mid-stage of the second tier. After the breakthrough, he pulls out his phone to research the anomalies the city lord mentioned. Because his body hasn't adapted to his new mid-stage strength yet, he accidentally cracks the phone screen just by gripping it. He scrolls to the news, reading reports about an S-grade spiritual medicine causing grandmasters to fight, and beasts gaining new elemental powers from mysterious shards. He finds information on Stargazing Lake, noting that the rank 2 multi-attribute beast there has attracted a large crowd of rank 3 and rank 4 martial artists. Su Hong figures that while he might not be able to beat a rank 4 martial artist in a fight, he can definitely escape from one. With his mind made up, he decides that as soon as his family finishes moving into the villa tomorrow, he will head straight to Stargazing Lake. The next day, Su Hong's family moves into their new villa. The house is quickly filled with gifts from wealthy neighbors trying to get on his good side. Su Hong finds entertaining them exhausting and decides to leave for Stargazing Lake in the afternoon. At the martial artist base, he notices a huge crowd. Lower tier martial artists refuse to leave the base because there are too many tier 3 and tier 4 fighters heading to the lake, making it too dangerous to travel without getting robbed. Meanwhile, up on the second floor of the base, a man confirms with an underling that Su Hong killed his nephew. He uses his powerful aura to force the underling to his knees, demanding respect as he plans his next move. Su Hong reaches Stargazing Lake and watches from the trees. He sees that the area is packed with high-tier martial artists. Suddenly, a massive beginner tier 3 star-spotted giant fish bursts out of the water. It shoots a dual-attribute attack that easily destroys a tier 4 martial artist's earth defense, severely injuring him. Annoyed, the tier 4 martial artist immediately kills the giant fish in one strike. The crowd rushes in and chops the beast up to find the treasure, but its stomach is completely empty. Seeing how aggressively the tier 4 fighters act, Su Hong decides it is not safe to stick around and turns to leave. Just as he turns, a masked man ambushes him with a blade. Su Hong uses his spear telekinesis to briefly pause the attacker, allowing him to dodge the fatal blow. He quickly realizes the attacker is a tier 4 martial artist. The attacker is surprised that Su Hong is a spirit reader. Suddenly, more masked men emerge from the woods. Su Hong finds himself surrounded by a tier 4 leader and over a dozen tier 3 assassins. Knowing he cannot fight them all at once, he uses his A-class movement technique to sprint away. When the assassins chase him, he uses uses his telekinesis to launch himself straight into the sky and fly away, leaving his pursuers completely stunned that a tier 2 can fly. Dozens of kilometers away, Su-hong lands in the forest, completely exhausted. His vital energy and mental power are drained. He figures that Ye Feng's uncle, Ye Qi, is the only one who would hire this many high-tier assassins to kill him. Su-hong plans his next move. He knows you can kill the tier 3 assassins, but the tier 4 leader is a major threat. If he fights the leader first, the others will swarm him. He decides he must use his speed to eliminate the tier 3 fighters first, then focus entirely on the tier 4 leader. Meanwhile, the assassin leader complains that their employer gave them bad intel by not mentioning Su-hong's telekinesis. He tells his men they must kill Su-hong before he reaches the city, or their employer will have them killed for failing. They use a tracking compass to hunt him down. Over the next 7 days, they constantly track and fight him in the woods. Su-hong kills several of them in quick skirmishes. By day 7, an assassin spots Su-hong while he is peeing in the bushes, and Su-hong quickly kicks the man in the face. The constant running and fighting leaves Su-hong completely drained. He eventually makes it to an official Star City supply station. He knows it is risky, but he has to rest. He figures the assassins will not dare attack him openly on official city territory. As he walks through the station, he notices men in suits staring at him. He realizes his tracks have been exposed, and confirms that Ye Qi from the martial artist base is indeed the one trying to kill him. Su-hong rents a room at the temporary supply base inn. He checks his system panel and sees his vitality is at 705.5. He needs 900 to reach the high stage of the second tier, but his 540 martial arts points are not enough. Instead, he spends the points to upgrade his overlord body physique from 1.1% to 6.5%. He feels an immediate surge of power, estimating his strength just increased by at least 20%, and soon after that, he curved in fighting more death cases. He decides to rest and practice his guidance technique, staying prepared to jump out the window if the assassins show up. A few hours later, Su-hong is eating a burger in the inn's dining area. The room suddenly goes completely quiet. He realizes the assassins are holding back, likely planning to ambush him outside. He then overhears nearby martial artists talking about a rare multi-attribute treasure called the 3-star vein ink purple bamboo. They mention the treasure is protected by a deadly gravity field that instantly crushed several tier 4 martial artists into meat paste. Su-hong wonders if his newly upgraded overlord body could withstand that kind of gravity. Suddenly, a massive explosion rips through the wall right beside him. The assassins have finally attacked. The tier 4 leader and his men surround the ruined building. The leader mocks Su-hong, stating they wouldn't hesitate to attack a supply base. Su-hong just smiles. He pulls out his new 3-attribute spear and infuses it with fire, lightning, and gold energy all at once. The leader recognizes the 3 attributes and panics, screaming for his men to scatter. Su-hong thrusts the unstable weapon forward, triggering a massive triple attribute explosion that completely levels the inn and the surrounding area. When the dust settles, the tier 4 leader is still alive but heavily injured. He assumes Su-hong died at the epicenter of the blast. Just as he catches his breath, a shirtless Su-hong drops from the sky, striking down with the 3rd style of his spear technique. The leader quickly blocks the attack with his sword and pushes him back. Su-hong instantly uses his movement technique to vanish. The leader tells his men to catch him, but Su-hong reappears right behind a surviving tier 3 assassin and impales him through the chest. Su-hong notes that while he might not be able to kill the tier 4 leader yet, he has no problem picking off the tier 3 subordinates. He throws the dead body at the leader and runs away into the forest. As he escapes, he admits the failed fusion explosion was terrifying. He only survived because he used his thick earth armor and his upgraded physique. He decides that once he successfully masters the 3-attribute fusion, he will have a real chance to kill the tier 4 leader. Back at the Star City martial artist base, Ye Qi shatters his teacup in a panic. He realizes his hired assassins completely botched the job. By attacking an official supply outpost, they drew too much attention. He knows that if Su-hong dies now, the city lord will easily trace the assassination back to him and wipe out his entire clan. Meanwhile, deep in the forest, a massive purple gravity field surrounds the rare 3-star ink purple bamboo. A group of disguised martial artists struggles to walk through the anomaly. They note that the higher a person's cultivation tier is, the stronger the gravity pushes down on them. The tier 4 leader uses a tracking compass to search for a hidden divine artifact. The compass points directly into the center of the gravity field, revealing the artifact is right next to the bamboo. Just then, Su-hong sprints past them, heading straight into the field. The tier 4 leader Bai Ao recognizes him. Revealing himself as a demon cultist, Bai Ao attacks Su-hong, hoping to kill him and claim a reward from his lord. Su-hong blocks the fiery strike, but realizes the tier 4 cultist is too strong to fight directly. Several tier 3 cultists try to block Su-hong's escape path, but he instantly kills 2 of them with his spear and movement technique. To avoid Baiao's full force attack, Su-hong runs deeper into the purple gravity field. Baiao tries to chase him, but the intense gravity immediately forces him to a halt. Because he is a tier 4 martial artist, the field exerts a crushing weight on him right at the edge. Frustrated, he throws his sword at Su-hong, but the gravity field shatters the weapon completely before before it can reach him. Safe inside the field, Su-hong stops right next to the purple bamboo. The intense gravity and his previous injuries push him to his limit, so he sits down and uses a green wood attribute technique to heal himself. Watching from outside, the cultists are shocked that Su-hong also knows healing arts. They realize that if Su-hong claims the divine artifact inside the bamboo, they are all dead. Near Stargazing Lake, Wang Tiantuo and his two friends notice the area is completely locked down by demon cultists. They wonder if the cult is targeting Su-hong or searching for treasure. They decide to report back to the martial artist base, but quickly realize the base has not reacted to the lockdown at all. Wang Tiantuo deduces that the base might be colluding with the demon cult. He immediately calls his father to seize control of both the base and the lake. At the same time, the city lord gets a report about the lockdown. Suspecting the demon cult is after Su-hong, he gathers his men and heads out. Inside the bamboo forest, the Tier 4 assassin leader meets with the Tier 4 cultist leader, Biao. Biao complained that Su-hong played dirty and killed many of his men. The assassin leader explains that Su-hong wiped out his Tier 3 subordinates using a powerful 3-attribute fusion martial art. Biao realizes Su-hong actually possesses 3 attributes, and notes that their lord will execute them both if they fail to eliminate the kid. 2 hours later, Su-hong is fully healed. His A-rank healing technique has restored his body and spiritual energy to their peak. He stands up and takes a step deeper into the gravity field toward the 3-star ink purple bamboo. The gravity instantly multiplies, but Su-hong pushes forward. Biao and the assassin leader watch from the edge. They plan to surround and kill him the moment he pulls out the bamboo. Knowing the gravity field will disappear when he does, Su-hong finally reaches the center. He notices the intense gravity is crushing rocks to powder, but a small black fragment on the ground remains completely intact. He picks it up and tries to bend it, but the material is too tough. He accidentally cuts his finger on the sharp edge, and the fragment immediately absorbs into his body through the wound. Su-hong's spiritual energy skyrockets. His body glows with all 7 attribute colors. A system notification pops up, stating he obtained a 7 Gods Cauldron fragment. He sits back down to cultivate the new energy, which annoys the enemies waiting outside the field. Su-hong feels his spiritual energy increase by more than 10-fold. Because of this massive boost, his previously unstable 3-attribute fusion now stabilizes completely. He checks his system and sees he only has 1 out of 100 fragments, realizing the complete item must be far above S rank. With his new power, Su-hong decides he does not need to run anymore. He stands up, grabs the ink purple bamboo, and pulls it out of the ground. The gravity field instantly vanishes. Biao, the assassin leader, and all their remaining subordinates charge at him at once. Su-hong just smiles. He infuses his spear with his perfected 3-attribute fusion and slams it into the ground. The resulting explosion is massive. Fire and lightning completely engulf the attackers, leveling the forest and leaving a giant crater in the ground. The Tier 4 assassin leader survives the blast but is heavily injured and coughing up blood. He looks around at the charred skeletons of his men and the cultists. He figures out that Su-hong must have absorbed the divine fragment to suddenly become this powerful. Out of the smoke and flames, Su-hong walks forward. Glowing with fire and lightning, he looks down at the assassin leader, asks if hunting him was fun, and states that it is now his turn to kill. Su-hong stands over the heavily injured Tier 4 assassin leader. He offers him a chance to live if he reveals the location of the demonic cult's stronghold in Star City, realizing the cult must have a deep presence to collude with Ye Qi so quickly. The assassin arrogantly refuses and tries a desperate suicide attack, throwing a glowing explosive to drag Su-hong down to hell with him. Su-hong doesn't even flinch. He simply blasts the man with a massive wave of lightning, instantly vaporizing him. Nearby, Biao and the other Tier 4 cultists see the massive explosion. They realize Su-hong's earlier threats were not a bluff and that his spiritual energy hasn't drained at all. Terrified that a rank 2 youth just wiped out their entire team and turned 2 rank 4 martial artists into lone survivors, they abandon the mission and run for their lives. Back at the martial artist base, Ye Qi receives a call confirming the assassination failed and his rank 4 men couldn't kill a rank 2. He panics, knowing the city lord will trace the hit back to him and execute him. He rushes outside to his car, desperate to escape Star City. Just as he approaches his vehicle, a massive flame cage erupts from the ground, trapping him inside. Su-hong steps out of the shadows. Ye Qi desperately tries to fight back, but Su-hong instantly pierces right through him with a lightning-infused spear strike, killing the peak rank 3 official in a single move. The city lord and his guards arrive just as the flames settle. The surrounding crowd is shocked that a youth killed a base official in broad daylight, but they all agree Ye Qi deserved it for attempting a sneak attack. The city lord asks Su-hong what happened. Su-hong casually downplays it as just luck, and reveals he also snatched the 3-star ink purple bamboo. Inside the city lord's private car, Su-hong explains the whole 8-day ordeal. He details how he fled from 2 rank 4S and 20 rank 3S, ended up heavily injuring the leaders, killing the rest, and taking the treasure. The city lord is so utterly stunned by this monstrous feat that he jokingly asks Su-hong to marry all 40 plus of his daughters so they can mass produce geniuses and save humanity. The city lord then gets serious. He warns Su-hong that the cult's mastermind might still be in the city and could send rank 6 or 7 grandmasters next. He advises Su-hong to get into a top university like Magic Capital or Capital University in the upcoming college entrance exams, as the cult wouldn't dare attack him there. Soo-hong arrives at his new villa. His aunt panics when she sees him covered in blood, but he quickly reassures her that it's just from hunting beasts. In his room, he opens his system panel and sees he has accumulated 3,105 martial values. He realizes if he puts it all into blood chi, he could break through to rank 3, but his mental strength would fall behind. He decides to balance his stats instead. He upgrades his mental strength to 501, officially making him a rank 2 spirit reader, and leaves his blood chi at 7075. The moment his mental strength upgrades, his improved telekinesis passively causes a glass of water on his desk to float into the air. The next day, Soo-hong returns to Star City No. 1 High School. Inside the classrooms, students are wildly sharing stories about how Soo-hong wiped out over 100 people at the training camp with a single spear swing, completely in awe of his genius. Suddenly, someone shouts that Soo-hong actually came to school today. Soo-hong is casually walking through the corridor when he hears a loud rumbling behind him. He turns around to see a massive mob of students sprinting toward him with glowing red eyes, aggressively screaming his name and telling him not to run. Sweating and completely terrified, Soo-hong braces himself, wondering what on earth he did to offend the entire school. Soo-hong runs down the school hallway, desperately trying to escape a massive crowd of students chasing him. They heard the rumors about his exploits at the training camp and are aggressively demanding to hear the details. Suddenly, Teacher Lee grabs him by the head, stopping him in his track. They tell Soo-hong to stop running because the principal is waiting for him in his office. Inside the office, the principal sits Soo-hong down and tries to secretly offer him some early and mid-stage tier 2 pills. Soo-hong politely declines, explaining that the pills wouldn't do him any good because he is already at the late stage of tier 2. The principal is completely shocked, knowing Soo-hong only just broke through recently. Soo-hong casually explains that he ran into some people trying to kill him, and the intense fights helped him earn a lot of martial values to improve faster. Curious to see this rapid progress, the principal takes Soo-hong to the school gymnasium for a sparring session. A huge crowd of students surrounds the basketball court to watch. The principal, a tier 3 martial artist, flares his aura and tells Soo-hong to make the first move. Soo-hong doesn't hold back. He charges forward and unleashes his cloud-hidden gale punch. The principal meets the attack head-on with his giant rock fist. The two fists collide, creating a massive shockwave that cracks the floor. The intense pressure completely shatters the principal's rock armor and forces him to slide backward. The principal realizes that Soo-hong's power is already at the tier 3 level, even though the kid isn't even using his full strength. Realizing he might actually lose and embarrass himself in front of the entire student body, the principal quickly stops the fight and admits defeat. He praises Soo-hong, declaring that his combat power is comparable to a late-stage tier 3 martial artist. The surrounding students go wild, cheering that their school finally has a genius who can get into the elite demon martial university. Knowing there is only 1 month left until the college entrance exam, the principal promises to help Soo-hong find sparring partners to push him into tier 3. For the next few weeks, Soo-hong's routine consists of sparring with the principal during the day and cultivating his guidance techniques at home during the night. Eventually, the principal brings in his old comrade, Crosh Chen, to take over the sparring. When even that isn't enough, they call in President Wu of the Martial Arts Association. President Wu is a fierce tier 5 martial artist who holds absolutely nothing back. She ruthlessly beats Soo-hong into the ground day after day. A month passes just like this. With only 5 days left until the college entrance exams, a heavily bruised Soo-hong lies on the floor and tells President Wu he needs to stop because he's about to break through. She grabs him by the hair, thinking he's just making up excuses to avoid training. However, Soo-hong's body suddenly erupts in a massive wave of red energy. President Wu senses the power and realizes his blood chi has actually reached 1,000. She immediately orders her staff to rush over 2 bottles of tier 3 breakthrough pills. She tells Soo-hong to break through right there in the training room. Soo-hong thanks her, sits cross-legged on the floor, and focuses his energy as his wounds begin to heal, finally ready to become a tier 3 martial artist. Down on the first floor of the Martial Arts Association, people stare in complete shock. President Wu, who is usually a serious tomboy, walks through the lobby humming a tune with a cute smile on her face. The staff whispers that she must be in love. The school principal and old Shin arrive, laughing at the idea of her being in love, and head to the backyard to find her. In the backyard, Soo-hong is sitting cross-legged on the ground, glowing with intense red energy. He struggles to contain the power, and his first breakthrough attempt fails with a small shockwave. He decides to try one more time. Half an hour later, he successfully compresses all the violent blood chi into his body. He opens his eyes, yells out, and releases a massive burst of energy. Standing up, he marvels at the feeling of finally being a tier 3 martial artist. He casually punches the air, and a massive flaming fist made of pure blood chi shoots out and smashes into the wall. He checks his system and sees his blood chi has reached exactly 1,000. He realizes that at tier 3, he doesn't even need to rely on martial techniques to launch long-range attacks. Excited to share the good news, Soo-hong runs straight inside. However, his clothes were destroyed during the breakthrough. He bursts through the doors half naked, completely surprising President Wu, the principal, and old Ken. President Wu blushes and yells at him for having the guts to flash her. Meanwhile, at the city lord's mansion, Lin Xinghe runs to his father, excitedly announcing that Su-hong reached the mid-stage of Tier 2. His father remains completely cold. He casually tells his son that President Wu just called to inform them that Su-hong actually broke through the Tier 3. Lin Xinghe is left entirely speechless. Back at the association, Su-hong sits in a meeting with the city lord, President Wu, the principal, and old Xing. Because his clothes were ruined, Su-hong is now wearing a tight, cute cat shoe. The city lord hands Su-hong a list of high-level martial artists who recently arrived in Star City. He warns Su-hong that there are nearly 100 people on the list, and some of them might be human traitors planning to assassinate him on behalf of the demon cult. Su-hong calmly states that he is already mentally prepared for assassinations from human traitors. The city lord tells him he will be safe once he gets into one of the top 2 universities. President Wu advises against Imperial Capital University because they strongly favor students from wealthy and powerful families, which would put Su-hong at a disadvantage. She suggests Magic Capital Martial Arts University instead, explaining that they only care about raw talent and strength, and they fiercely protect their students no matter what trouble they cause. Hearing this, Su-hong agrees to go to Magic Capital. The city lord then decides to poke fun at Su-hong's cute cap shirt, questioning the genius's taste in clothing. President Wu immediately steps in, blushing and admitting she specially lent him her shirt because his clothes were destroyed during his breakthrough. Realizing his mistake, the city lord quickly changes his tune, nervously laughing and praising the shirt's wonderful taste. A few days later, the city lord waits at the Star City airport. He greets Wang Lindao, a Tier 5 martial artist, who is in charge of evaluating the college entrance exams for Star City this year. Wang Lindao complains about his assignment. He feels that actively networking with students is beneath his pride, especially since Star City rarely produces even a single Tier 2 examinee. The city lord just smiles and asks if an 18-year-old Tier 3 genius is worth networking with. Wang Lindao's eyes widen in shock. Forgetting all his previous complaints, he instantly demands the city lord take him to this genius right away. At the Star City martial arts exam venue, thousands of students gather in a massive stadium for the vitality check. President Wu and the city lord look around for the Tier 5 examiner, Wang Lindao. They spot him shamelessly cozying up to Su-hong. Completely tossing his pride aside, the high-level examiner throws up a peace sign and tries to take a cute selfie with the kid, desperate to get on the genius's good side. The city lord facepalms at how thick-skinned the man is. An announcer declares that students below Tier 2 will take their combat tests here, but anyone at Tier 2 or above must take a special train to the provincial capital for specialized testing. Su-hong looks surprised, and his friends awkwardly admit they forgot to tell him about that rule. They ask if he managed to reach the mid-stage of Tier 2 during his training. Su-hong just smirks and tells them they will find out in a bit. He steps into the vitality detector capsule. Instantly, a massive wave of red energy erupts from his body. The machine scans him and displays a staggering score of 1005. The entire stadium is thrown into absolute shock. Lin Xinghe and the other students stare in pure disbelief, realizing Su-hong didn't just reach mid-Tier 2, he actually broke through to Tier 3. Up in the private viewing rooms, the wealthy fathers are dumbfounded. Lin Xinghe's father immediately decides he needs to find a way to make this kid his son-in-law. Up in the examiner's box, Wang Lindao is utterly amazed. He looks at a data chart showing the massive gap in cultivation resources between a small place like Star City and the elite magic capital. He realizes that if Su-hong had grown up with the educational resources of a large city, his terrifying talent might have already pushed him to Tier 4. Down below, the crowd swarms Su-hong. Students scream that they love him and want to have his babies. Feeling completely uncomfortable with the intense attention, Su-hong hurries away. In the end, only 4 students from Star City qualify for the specialized testing: Su-hong, Wan Qiantou, Lin Xinghe, and the spirit reader Xiao Yan. They board the special exam train, heading to the provincial capital. As they walk down the aisle, students from other cities try to intimidate the Star City group by aggressively releasing their fiery Tier 2 auras. Su-hong's friends flare their own auras to push back, but Su-hong decides to shut it down immediately. His eyes glow bright blue as he unleashes his full spiritual pressure. The energy explodes outward, forming into a massive, roaring blue dragon that sweeps through the entire train car. The overwhelming Tier 3 pressure instantly shatters the other students' auras, slamming them back into their seats in pure terror. Sweating and trembling, the rival students realize a backwater city actually produced a Tier 3 monster. They silently agree that if they run into him during the exam, they will flee without hesitation. With the train car completely silent, Su-hong casually walks down the aisle and takes his seat. His friends ask which university he is aiming for, revealing that all 3 of them plan to apply to Magic Capital Martial Arts University. Su-hong smiles and says he is also planning to go there, meaning it will be comrades in arms. His friends are thrilled, knowing they can set their minds at ease with him on their side. Su-hong remembers President Wu telling him that Magic Capital accepts everyone based purely on talent and strength, regardless of their background. He smiles, ready to make his mark at the university. On the train, students from other cities approach Su-hong. They brag about their strength and boldly declare they will defeat him in the exam. Su-hong just stares at them and casually replies with a simple okay. His deadpan reaction completely deflates their excitement and leaves them confused. They arrive at Tianxing Square in Hangzhou, where a massive crowd is gathered around a giant mechanical sphere. This is the entrance to the secret realm. While they wait, the #1 prodigy from Wen City city, Chen Tianyan arrives. He immediately flares his fiery red aura, revealing he is a Tier 3 martial artist. He arrogantly mocks Su Hong's group, calling them Tier 2 trash because he heard Star City's top student was only at the 2nd tier. Su Hong steps off the bus holding his spear. Chen Tianyan looks right at him but doesn't recognize him, dismissing him as looking entirely ordinary. Nearby, Old Qin is standing with the chief examiner, a Tier 7 grandmaster named Lin Beixing. Lin also thinks Su Hong looks unimpressive and questions if the kid really has a perfect affinity for 7 attributes. Old Qin just smirks and tells him that seeing is believing. The students start complaining about the delay. Suddenly, Grandmaster Lin unleashes a massive wave of red spiritual pressure that forces the entire crowd into silence. He announces the exam rules. The test takes place in the Tianxing secret realm and lasts 7 days. Students earn points by killing beasts. Map fragments to locate special beasts are hidden inside regular ones. The main target is a Tier 4 early-stage savage dragon in the center, worth 10,000 points. Finally, students can defeat each other to steal half of their opponent's points. Hearing this, Su Hong realizes the exam is designed to make the candidates fight each other. Grandmaster Lin opens the glowing green portal. Chen Tianyan and the rest of the massive crowd charge forward to get a head start. Su Hong tells his friends to go in first. He then uses his telekinesis to wrap them in yellow energy and tosses them straight into the portal. Instead of following them, Su Hong waves goodbye and walks over to the Grandmasters. He figures that earning points by hunting beasts is way too slow compared to just letting everyone else gather points so he can steal them later. He casually sits down to have a cup of tea with Old Qin and Grandmaster Lin. Lin realizes Su Hong's ruthless plan and notes that the kid and his teacher are exactly alike. Lin asks Su Hong if he is really that confident, since there are other Tier 3 candidates participating. Su Hong humbly replies that he only has a little bit of confidence. Old Qin immediately ruins the humble act by loudly bragging that Su Hong recently survived an 8-day assassination attempt, killing 20 Tier 3 demon cultists and heavily injuring 2 Tier 4s. Grandmaster Lin is completely shocked by this claim. Su Hong awkwardly scratches his cheek and admits he had to risk his life for 8 days, leaving Lin to realize just how ridiculous this kid really is. A few hours later, Su Hong is inside the Tianxing secret realm. He immediately runs into a low-stage Tier 3 bear and a Tier 3 white tiger. The bear charges at him, but Su Hong effortlessly pierces it with a fiery lightning strike from his spear. With the bear dead, the tiger tries to run away. Su Hong unleashes the third style of his spear technique, blasting a massive trench into the ground right in front of the beast. Terrified, the tiger rolls over on its back and tries to act cute to beg for mercy. Su Hong tells it to stop meowing. He orders the beast to lead to other humans or high-tier beasts, promising to spare its life if it obeys. Su Hong rides the tiger through the forest. They soon encounter a massive high-stage Tier 3 giant ape. The ape is over 30 meters tall and carries a massive tree trunk as a weapon. The ape swings the log down. Su Hong jumps off the tiger and tells it to run away. He dodges the attack and complains about the ape's terrible breath. He then points his spear upward and blasts the ape right in the face with a burst of fire and lightning. The ape gets angry and slams its massive log down directly onto Su Hong. The log is over 40 meters long and weighs around 70 tons. However, Su Hong easily catches it with one hand. He notes that since he has already broken through to Tier 3, catching this much weight is nothing to him. He then covers the massive log with his mental power. Using his telekinesis, he floats into the air, lifts the entire 70-ton tree trunk, and swings it like a giant bat. He smacks the giant ape squarely in the face with its own weapon. Outside the secret realm, the crowd watches the fight on the giant broadcast screens. They are completely stunned by the display of strength, wondering what kind of monster Su Hong really is. In the private viewing area, Old Qin laughs and points at the screen, bragging that his student is beating an elite monster like a dog. Grandmaster Lin spits out his drink in shock. Watching Su Hong effortlessly crush the giant ape, Lin admits that the outcome of this year's assessment is already decided. Su Hong stands over the fallen giant ape. He checks his points bracelet, completely shocked to see he already has 2,100 points, putting him in first place by a massive margin. He realizes that since the ape gave him so many points, hunting elite beasts is a much faster way to win than his original plan of beating up other students. He jumps down and commands the white tiger to find him more high-tier monsters. Meanwhile, in another part of the secret realm, Chen Tianyan checks the leaderboard and is furious to see Su Hong so far ahead. Determined not to lose, Tianyan uses a map fragment to locate a special beast and heads toward it. He arrives at a rocky clearing and finds a giant glowing purple serpent. He realizes it is a Tier 3 high-stage beast, a dark poison snake. Believing he can beat anything Su Hong can, Tianyan activates his fire attribute and charges at the snake. However, just a few minutes later, Tianyan is sent flying backward, heavily injured and coughing up blood. He realizes the snake is almost as strong as a Tier 4 beast, and decides he has to run away or he will die. As he tries to escape, a sudden blast of fiery energy sweeps past him and slams into a tree. Su Hong steps out of the forest, carrying his spear and giving a sinister smile. He demands the points, but Tianyan refuses. In response, Su Hong instantly dashes forward and smashes the butt of his spear into Tianyan's face, knocking him out cold in a single strike. A group of 5 other candidates who are watching nearby are terrified by Su Hong's power. Seeing how easily he took down the number 2 prodigy, they immediately beg for mercy. Su Hong tells them he will spare them if they all hit the unconscious Tianyan to share the blame. They agree and take turns beating him up. Su-hong rides away on his white tiger, leaving the beaten candidates behind. He soon finds the giant purple serpent. He leaps off his tiger, charging his spear with a massive aura of golden lightning and fire. Using his 9 sky-breaking spears technique, he thrusts forward and obliterates the giant snake in one hit. An hour later, Tianyan finally wakes up. He checks the leaderboard and screams in despair when he sees Su-hong now has 4,500 points. He realizes Su-hong must be hiding his true strength, and is likely a Tier 4 martial artist. In the real world, the grandmasters and spectators are equally stunned by Su-hong's absurd power. He easily took down 2 special beasts back to back, using a rare fusion of thunder and fire attributes. The crowd goes wild, realizing the entire exam has basically become Su-hong's personal show. Inside the realm, Su-hong tells his tiger to lead the way to the center of the map, where the boss monster is located. He arrives at the edge of a massive, dark crater. He tells the tiger to wait outside and jumps down into the abyss. At the bottom, he finds the Tier 4 Savage Dragon. It is a massive, dark red dragon, securely locked up in heavy chains and fast asleep. Su-hong feels the overwhelming pressure of its aura. He knows that in a head-on fight, he would likely lose. But since it's asleep and chained up, he decides a surprise attack is the best option. He notices a very specific, unprotected spot on the dragon's backside. Smiling wickedly, Su-hong channels all his elemental attributes, thunder, fire, and gold, into his spear. He winds up and violently thrusts his ultimate move directly into the dragon's exposed rear end. Su-hong's spear strikes true, hitting the dragon right in its most vulnerable spot. Blood splatters, and the beast jolts awake, roaring in agonizing pain. Furious, the dragon unleashes a massive torrent of fire. The intense heat and explosive force from the dragon's breath blast the ground, completely shattering the heavy chains binding it. Outside the secret realm, the crowd and grandmasters watch the broadcast in absolute disbelief. They are stunned by Su-hong's shameless and brutal tactic of stabbing the beast's rear. They quickly realize the chains are broken, and the savage dragon is now completely free. The unbound dragon lets out a deafening roar, sending a massive pillar of energy into the sky. Su-hong stands his ground, excited. Now that the beast is unrestrained, he can finally test his true combat power by going all out. The dragon blasts another massive wave of fire. Su-hong counters by unleashing his Rage Sea Spear technique, creating a giant water dragon that crashes directly into the flames, neutralizing the attack. Capitalizing on the opening, Su-hong leaps high into the air to strike with his 9 sky-breaking spears. However, the dragon reacts surprisingly fast, swinging its giant claw to swat him away. Su-hong barely manages to block the strike with his spear shaft, skidding backward across the rocky ground from the heavy impact. Wiping his mouth, Su-hong admits he underestimated the fat dragon's speed. But he smiles, knowing that in terms of pure physical strength, his newly upgraded Overlord body is far superior. He charges his fist with explosive power, dashes forward, and delivers a devastating punch straight into the dragon's chest, sending the massive beast reeling backward with a painful roar. Su-hong's punch creates a massive shockwave, but the dragon quickly recovers. It swipes its claws, sending out sharp blades of air. Su-hong charges his spear with lightning and fires off a series of attacks to counter the strikes. As the attacks collide, the dragon realizes Su-hong's raw power is no joke. It rears back and unleashes a massive blast of fiery breath, covering the entire area in flames. Outside the portal, the Grandmasters are stunned by Su-hong's physical strength. Grandmaster Ling thought Su-hong's Overlord body was just a regular constitution, but seeing him match the Savage Dragon's physical power, he realizes the boy must have perfectly fused his elements to maximize his body's potential. Inside the realm, Su-hong easily breaks through the fire breath using his lightning-charged spear. He dashes forward, moving faster than the dragon can track. In a blinding flash of golden light, he thrusts his spear straight through the dragon's neck. The massive beast crashes to the ground, dead. The system prompt confirms the kill, adding a massive 14,500 points to his score. Seeing the update on their leaderboards, the other candidates are completely demoralized. Even the top prodigies realize they have absolutely no chance of catching up to Su-hong's insane score. They admit they were too arrogant and accept that they are just trash compared to him. Meanwhile, Su-hong decides not to let the savage dragon go to waste. He chops off a massive chunk of its tail, starts a fire, and roasts it. He and his white tiger feast on the rare meat. As he eats, his blood chi rapidly increases, and his Overlord body's mastery percentage jumps from 6.5% to 9%. Realizing the meat is essentially free stat points, Su-hong spends the rest of the day eating as much as he can. Over the next few days, Su-hong uses his white tiger mount to hunt down every single special elite beast in the realm. He kills a giant white ape, a massive deathworm, and a heavenly wind-mad bull. On the 7th and final day of the exam, he randomly runs into a candidate walking through the forest. Without hesitation, Su-hong hits him in the head with his log weapon, knocking him out cold. When Su-hong checks his bracelet, he is confused to see he didn't get any points. Looking closer at the unconscious student, he recognizes Chen Tianyan, and realizes he already robbed him of all his points earlier in the week. A loud voice echoes through the secret realm, announcing that the exam is officially over and all candidates must leave immediately. Su-hong pets his tiger goodbye, telling it to train hard so it doesn't get beat to death next year. He looks down at the fainted Tianyan. Not wanting to leave him stranded in the dangerous forest, Su-hong throws the unconscious prodigy over his shoulder and walks toward the exit portal. He steps out of the portal and back into Qian Sing Square. The massive crowd of spectators and all the grandmasters immediately erupt into cheers, chanting his name and hailing him as the new Jiangnan Province martial arts champion. Su-hong's exam results instantly make national news. Reporters broadcast that he shattered the historical points record by a massive margin. People from his high school celebrate in the streets, and reporters even try to interview his aunt and uncle at their home. Videos of him carrying Tianyan out of the portal go viral, and his face is plastered all over the news. Sitting in the president's office at the Martial Arts Association, Su-hong complains to Grandmaster Qin and Lin that the media is getting annoying. Lin agrees to have them tone it down so they don't bother his family. He then asks Su-hong for advice on attribute fusion, hoping for some pointers. Su-hong thinks it's a bit backward for two grandmasters to ask him for advice, but since they've been so helpful, he agrees. He spends the next half hour explaining every detail of his cultivation and fusion techniques. Lin and Qin are deeply grateful, realizing his explanation is a major discovery for human martial arts. President Xia Yan walks in and asks Su-hong if he can explain the wind attribute to her as well. Later that night, Grandmaster Lin successfully masters the basic thunder and fire fusion. Qin asks him how he has dual attributes since he isn't a natural genius. Lin explains that he found a special fragment of the Seven God Cauldron. Su-hong hears this and remembers he found a similar fragment earlier. Win warns Su-hong that the myriad races demonic cultists who worship monsters are constantly hunting for these fragments. He tells Su-hong to watch his back, because people will assume he has fragments due to his 7 attributes. Lin proposes they put out a fake story claiming Su-hong found fragments but already handed them over to the Grandmasters. Su-hong agrees to the cover story. Lin also advises him to enroll at Modu Martial Arts University, because the principal there is a powerful Tier 9 expert who can protect him from the cultists. Lin suggests that to catch the principal's attention, Su-hong should beat up the principal of the Imperial Capital Martial Arts University's grandson during the upcoming national tournament. Su-hong smirks and asks for a photo of the grandson so he can familiarize himself with him. Meanwhile, at the Modu Martial Arts University admissions office, a recruiter is reviewing the exam scores from Jiangnan Province. He drops his pen in shock when he sees Su-hong's score of 35,500 points. He frantically pulls up the combat footage and watches Su-hong fight the savage dragon alone using a 3-attribute fusion. His assistant reads Su-hong's file, confirming he has 7 attributes with 100% compatibility. Realizing they found an absolute monster, the recruiter sprints to the principal's office to ask for his private jet. The principal, Li Chenggao, stands up, radiating a terrifying aura. He tells the recruiter not to rush because he is going to Jiangnan Province to recruit Su-hong in person. A few days later, a terrified scout runs into Principal Li's office at Modu University. He begs the principal to stop stirring up trouble, because over a dozen grandmasters are already trying to recruit Su-hong. Li stands up and tells the scout not to worry. He isn't going to fight the grandmasters, he's going to wipe out a demon cult base near the city. Intel confirmed the cultists are targeting Su-hong because he awakened 7 attributes. Li declares he's going to personally kill them before they can even try to attack his new student. He grabs the screaming scout, leaps out the window, and flies toward the forest. 50 kilometers away, inside a dark cave, the demon cultists are holding a meeting. Their leader, a man from the celestial god race, announces their plan to intercept and kill Su-hong before he reaches the university. He promises that once Su-hong is dead, the cultists will be rewarded with divine blood. The cultists cheer, eager to assassinate the human genius. Suddenly, Principal Li lands outside the cave, completely shattering the ground. He brought the scout with him to record a promotional video for the university. Li tells the scout to start filming, then raises his glowing hand and brings down a massive strike that completely obliterates the mountain peak, crushing the cult base and everyone inside in a single hit. Meanwhile, back in Star City, Su-hong's house is overflowing with gifts. His aunt tries to set him up on blind dates with daughters from wealthy families, but Su-hong politely declines, saying he needs to focus on his cultivation. He escapes to his room and opens his system interface. He uses his accumulated points to upgrade his spirit stat to Tier 3. He then tests a new technique called the weapon condensation art, creating a solid shield of energy. He punches the shield to test its durability, breaking it, but realizes it's strong enough to block attacks from mid-stage Tier 3 beasts. Satisfied, he dumps the rest of his points into his overload body. He screams in pain as his body undergoes another massive physical upgrade, reaching the 36% mastery level. He realizes his pure physical strength is now high enough to easily kill a Tier 4 martial artist. He goes downstairs to eat dinner with his family, finally feeling secure in his power. The next morning, Su-hong is woken up by his phone ringing. He answers it sleepily, only to hear Grandmaster Qin screaming for help. Qin begs Su-hong to hurry to the school and save him, sounding completely terrified. Su-hong rushes out of his house and sees Grandmaster Qin hiding behind a pile of rubble. Standing near him are the admissions directors from both Modu and Imperial Capital Universities. The two directors are literally fighting each other to recruit Su-hong, and their battle is destroying the neighborhood. Su-hong stops them and asks what is going on. The Imperial Director immediately offers him an unlimited supply of high-grade resources, free martial arts manuals, 30 million in cash, and a personal Grandmaster tutor if he joins their school. Su-hong realizes the perks are worth over 1 billion coins a year. He asks the Modu Director what his school can offer. The Modu Director bluntly states that they treat everyone equally, so Su-hong will only get the standard 10 million a year in resources. He explains that at Modu, students have to earn everything else through their own abilities. The Imperial Director mocks Modu for being stingy, assuming Su-hong will obviously choose Imperial. However, Su-hong surprises everyone by choosing Modu. He explains that while Imperial offers great perks, Modu's competitive environment offers more freedom and the opportunity to truly push his limits. The Modu Director laughs, praising his ambition. He tells Su-hong to report to the school the very next day. Su-hong is confused since it is still summer vacation, but the director explains that Modu students don't rest. They spend their summers fighting in freshman tournaments, virtual ladder matches, and experiential missions. Su-hong realizes Modu is a pure battleground and accepts the challenge. Later that day, the Imperial Director tries to recruit other top students from Jiangnan Province as a backup plan. She visits the homes of the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th place prodigies, including Chen Tianyan, but is shocked to learn that every single one of them also chose Modu. They all want to follow Su-hong just to get a chance to beat him and prove they are the true #1 genius. The next day, Su-hong arrives at the Modu railway station. The student, Bai Kang Sheng, introduces himself as the senior in charge of welcoming the new class. He recognizes Su-hong from the news and happily offers to show him around campus. They arrive at Modu Martial Arts University. Senior Bai gives Su-hong his freshman handbook and points bracelet. He explains that points are the only currency used on campus to buy food, housing, and martial arts resources. Freshmen start with 100 points and have to earn more by fighting in virtual ladder matches or taking on missions. Su-hong puts on the bracelet, wondering if he can earn martial Dao points for his system by fighting in the virtual world. Senior Bai leads Su-hong to the dormitories and shows him his assigned housing. Surprisingly, Su-hong was given the best attached luxury villa on campus. However, Bai smiles and warns him that dorm assignments can be challenged at any time, meaning other students can fight him to steal his room. Su-hong complains that the school intentionally rigged the system to force him into fights. Nearby, a group of jealous freshmen glare at him. Seeing that he got the best villa just from dumb luck, they immediately start plotting to team up and take him down. Su-hong enters his villa. It is massive, with a lavish living room and a fully equipped training center. He lays down in the virtual pod to connect to the ranked ladder matches, wanting to test out the system. The pod scans his consciousness and drops him into a glowing blue virtual lobby. A notification pops up explaining the rules. In ranked matches, all participants have their physical strength and spiritual energy levels standardized to match their opponent's tier. Additionally, special physiques and spiritual powers cannot be used. Su-hong feels his body become sluggish, as his overpowered stats are reduced to average levels. He realizes the ladder matches purely test raw martial arts skills and combat techniques, without relying on broken stats. The system prompts him to select a weapon, and he chooses a spear. He is impressed to feel the weight and texture perfectly match his real-life weapon. Next, he is prompted to enter a username to protect his privacy. He tries a few normal names, but they are all taken. Frustrated, he mashes the keyboard. The system accepts the random input, registering his username as I love long legs and black tights. Su-hong cringes, embarrassed by the weird name, but the system says it cannot be changed. He quickly adjusts his avatar's face to hide his identity, accidentally making himself look like a middle-aged uncle. He clicks matchmake and is paired against an opponent named Likes Busty Girls. Su-hong laughs, realizing there are plenty of weirdos in the virtual network. The match begins against a muscular, bald fighter armed with a heavy mace. The man taunts Su-hong, asking if he is stunned by his handsomeness. Su-hong ignores him and charges forward with his spear. The opponent swings his mace, expecting a heavy clash, but Su-hong's footwork is too fast. He effortlessly dodges the heavy swings and counters with a flurry of rapid spear thrusts. The muscular fighter is shocked. Even with their physical stats completely equalized, Su-hong's raw spearmanship is completely suppressing him. Unable to block the relentless attacks, the bald fighter is impaled through the chest. Su-hong wins the match. He earns 1 ranking point and notes that he won relatively easily despite losing all his overpowered stat advantages. He realizes this is the perfect opportunity to temper his fundamentals and promises to become invincible in the same realm, even without his system boosts. Meanwhile, in a nearby villa, a girl complains to her older sister that they should go challenge the person who got assigned Villa 001. The older sister, Qingwan, is the top scorer from Jiangnan Province, but they were placed in the smaller Villa 002. Qingwan ignores her sister's complaining, saying she is too busy climbing the ranked ladder to care about dorm rooms. She enters her virtual pod and is matched against her next opponent. Seeing the username I love long legs and black tights, Kingwon rolls her eyes, muttering that men with perverted names are gross. Kingwon's avatar spawns into the virtual arena, wearing her real-life glasses and the short skirt with black thigh-high socks. She immediately complains about Suhong's perverted username and neared middle-aged uncle avatar. She decides to finish the match quickly and charges forward with her sword. Suhong easily blocks her first strike. He pushes back and unleashes a flurry of rapid spear thrusts. Kingwon manages to parry them, realizing that despite his gross username, he is actually a master spearman. She thinks he is purposely using a weird name to make people underestimate him. Wanting to win quickly, she activates her B-rank fire attribute sword technique and unleashes a massive wave of flames. Suhong quickly activates his own movement technique to dodge. Kingwon is shocked that he easily saw through her footwork, but she quickly switches to a wind attribute attack and strikes again. Suhong narrowly dodges the wind blade. He realizes that since his opponent is a top-tier genius with dual attributes, he needs to take the fight seriously. He activates his 9 heaven-shattering spears technique, charging his spear with golden lightning, and strikes back with full force. Kingwon creates a massive tornado of fire to block his attack, refusing to lose to someone with such a garbage name. The two clash, their weapons sparking with fire and lightning. However, Suhong's raw technique overwhelms her. He breaks through her guard and strikes her with a powerful blast of lightning, winning the match. As the virtual arena fades away, Kingwon blushes in embarrassment, angrily cursing Suhong's name. She promises to track him down, defeat him, and force him to change it to something normal. Suhong wakes up in his virtual pod, satisfied after the exhilarating fight. He checks his points bracelet and notices a friend request from a user named Qinghon. He accepts it and asks who she is. Kingwon replies that they just fought, and introduces herself as the beautiful girl from the match. Suhong immediately assumes she is a scammer trying to hit on him for money. He replies that seduction won't work because he is broke, and then instantly blocks her. In her own villa, Kingwon reads the blocked message and screams in frustration, calling him a jerk. Suhong climbs out of his pod, glad he didn't fall for the obvious scam. Feeling hungry, he decides to head out and try the school's cafeteria food. He steps out of his villa's front gate, only to find a massive crowd of angry freshmen waiting for him. The students instantly start shouting, demanding he fight them for the rights to his luxury dorm. Suhong just sighs, his stomach grumbling. Suhong tells the crowd to attack him all at once because he's in a hurry. The students are surprised by his confidence and ask if anyone knows who he is. Since he is from another province, nobody recognizes him. Thinking Suhong is just a nobody trying to bluff, a student named Wang Tang steps up to challenge him. He powers up with red energy and throws a heavy punch. Suhong effortlessly catches the fist with one hand, completely stopping the attack. He then throws a quick counterpunch straight into Wang Tang's face. The impact sends Wang Tang flying backward, and he crashes into the ground, knocked out cold. The rest of the crowd is shocked, noting that Wang Tang is a Tier 3 martial artist and just got taken out in a single hit. Suhong cracks his knuckles and asks who wants to go next. Seeing how easily he won, the terrified students immediately step back and run away. Suhong tells the fleeing students they can't run. He activates his weapon condensation art, forming massive glowing blue tentacles of psychic energy. The tentacles shoot forward, wrapping around the retreating freshmen and dragging them back. Realizing Suhong is actually a psychic, the students immediately start screaming and begging for mercy. Suhong ignores their pleas. He leaps into the air and unleashes a rapid barrage of heavy punches. The devastating blows knock out the entire group of Tier 3 prodigies in seconds. The remaining spectators watch in absolute shock. They realize this unknown kid must be Suhong, the legendary Jiangnan province top scorer who soloed a Tier 4 savage drat. The state of Suhong shuts his system interface. He receives a few dozen martial Dao points for each student he knocked out. He complains that since he broke through the Tier 3, beating up other Tier 3 practitioners yields fewer than 100 points per person. He notes that earning points is getting harder and harder. He looks up and notices a large group of Tier 2 freshmen watching him from down the street. The students freeze in terror, quickly raising their hands and insisting they are only there to watch, not challenge him. Suhong just gives them a sinister smile. He figures that while Tier 2 students aren't worth many points, it's still better than nothing. The students scream for help as Suhong charges at them. 1 minute later, the entire street is littered with unconscious freshmen. The beaten students groan in pain, calling Suhong brutal for picking on people weaker than him and threatening to tell a teacher. Suhong arrives at the cafeteria, carrying a large tray of food. He scans his points bracelet to pay, noting that a single meal costs 5 points. He realizes the 100 starting points the school gives freshmen are only enough for 20 meals. He sits down at a table and notices 3 familiar faces from Jiangnan province: Wang Tiantuo, Xiao Yan, and Lin Xinghe. Tiantuo is surprised to see him looking so happy. He asks Suhong if he managed to get a private dorm room. Suhong asks if the dorms are really that bad. Tiantuo complains that he was assigned to a cramped 8-person room, and feels insulted by the school. Suhong asks the other two what they got. Xinghe, who has long hair and slightly feminine features, angrily yells that he got assigned to a 4-person girls' dorm just because his hair is long. Xiaoyan, a tomboyish girl, yells that she got assigned to a boys' dorm. They both complain that the school just judged them based on their looks without actually checking their files. Suhong awkwardly offers his condolences. They ask him again what dorm he got. Suhong tries to avoid the question, saying they should just eat, but they press him for an answer, assuming he probably just got a studio apartment. Suhong finally admits he got his own private luxury villa. The three of them instantly freeze, staring at him in complete silence. Knowing they are definitely jealous, Suhong quickly excuses himself and hurries out of the cafeteria. Back at his villa, Suhong climbs into his virtual pod and logs back into the ranked matches. He fights match after match, using the equalized stats to temper his spearmanship and movement techniques. He only stops when his mental power is completely drained. He checks his profile and sees he reached Bronze 4-star. Lying in bed, Suhong realizes that even with his overpowered Tier 3 psychic mental strength, he could only handle 8 matches in a row before exhausting himself. He figures normal students probably have to rest for a long time after just 1 or 2 simulated battles. He falls asleep, preparing for whatever challenges Modu University will throw at him next. Suhong sleeps soundly, knowing his high mental power will let him progress faster than everyone else. Suddenly, a loud announcement blares across the campus, waking him up. All freshmen are ordered to assemble at Field 13 within 10 minutes. Anyone late will lose 10 points for every minute they delay. Suhong grabs his spear and rushes out of his villa. He complains that the penalty is brutal, since he barely earned 20 points from all his hard work in the virtual arena. As he runs down the street, a voice suddenly calls out his embarrassing virtual username. Suhong freezes in shock, wondering how someone figured out his real-world identity so fast. He turns around and sees a girl with glasses and a black skirt. It's Qinghwan, his opponent from the ladder match. She angrily demands to know why he rejected her friend request and blocked her. Suhong recognizes her as the girl he thought was trying to scam him online. He groans internally, annoyed that she actually managed to track him down in real life.